Sonia's speed is as fast as a ghost. When moving in a small range, it is no less than Hancock's electric field teleportation, and faster than Khan's. If it is a long-distance race, Khan's explosive speed is definitely second only to Kizaru and Hancock's blink and thunder. Because Khan's figure is different from that of Charlotte Linlin, the latter lost the speed of a natural destroyer due to his bulky body and Yamato's obesity, and his defense was full. But Khan is just the opposite. The size of an ordinary person makes his defense weaker than Charlotte Linlin's steel balloon, but in terms of speed, he is n times stronger than Charlotte Linlin. When Khan was a child, he tried to run at full speed. As a result, because his speed was too fast and his strength was too strong, the ground was crushed by him. This problem, Khan once felt very distressed. It took a long time to learn to control the power. After eating the devil fruit, Khan had super long-distance attack means, became a full-body dragon, and was able to wreak havoc on the earth with ease. Khan hadn't tried to run at full strength for many years. But for short-distance movement, Khan is far inferior to Hancock and Sonia. Because Khan moves short distances, he uses shaving steps. As for the 6-style shaving step, after each movement, there will be a pause and a forward shake. Closer to home. After Khan and the others finished sighing, Sonia, who was changing shape back and forth, finally stopped, and the main body appeared in front of Khan and the others. After a few seconds, the phantoms with double digits around them disappeared. At this time, Khan asked again, "Besides the speed increase, do you have any other places to increase?" Sonia nodded again and said, "In addition to speed, my strength has also become many times stronger, especially this pair of sharp claws. It seems to be able to tear everything apart. There is also resilience. I feel that my body, even if it is injured now, can heal quickly. These are one of the characteristics of phantom beasts." Khan said with a satisfied smile, "From now on, you will be the third force of the family." I don't know whether it was high hopes or Khan's approval. Sonia laughed happily, and then assured Khan firmly, "Master, I will definitely not let you down." "Congratulations, Sonia." Hancock stepped forward, patted Sonia's arm, and said with satisfaction, "From now on, you will be my deputy." "Yes, sister." Sonia was originally positioned in the family as both a living maid and a fighting maid. "Now that I have eaten the phantom beast, vampire form, I am no longer suitable to be a living maid. With this time, it is better to practice hockey and develop fruit ability." Therefore, the positioning of the 5 maids in the family is very clear. Robin, the head maid of life, responsible for taking care of Khan's daily life, and handling various affairs of the family, with Koala as his deputy. Hancock, the head maid of the battle, responsible for fighting and training soldiers, such as the Hydra warrior who will soon become the main force of the Cross family, and the forces that may become the affiliated pirate group of the Chromon clan, in the future will be led by Hancock to manage. The deputy is Sonia. As for Mary, her position is the most special existence in the family. She is the family's mobile warehouse and Robin's good helper. When she needs to use her abilities, she can also immediately join the battle. The same as the previous Sonia, she is both a living maid and a fighting maid. Reunited with the 3 Boya sisters and let Sonia eat the phantom beast vampire form, Khan did not immediately transform into a dragon and use telekinesis to take Daughter Island away from the windless zone, but entered the palace first and participated in the Hancock preparation family dinner. Hancock, where is that mother-in-law? In the dining room, Khan sat on the main seat originally belonged to Hancock, and suddenly asked Hancock who was sitting on his right. "My mother-in-law left Daughter Island yesterday." Hancock replied truthfully. "She didn't want to move to New World, so she left alone to find the previous empress, the woman who followed Pluton Rayleigh 3 years ago." "So that's it, that woman is the previous empress." Khan pretended to be stunned. "Well, when I first heard the news, I was also taken aback." Hancock sighed slightly. "I didn't expect that woman to be over 40 years old, and she couldn't tell at 10 o'clock. Not only that, when the other party was 64 years old, he was still the same as now." Khan thought to himself. When Robin, Hancock, and Mary reach the age of 30, if they can't get pure gold at that time, Khan will go to Sabodi Archipelago to ask Shao-Chi for advice on how to freeze age. The banquet started, and Khan and his group ate the Sea King's feast prepared by the chef of Daughter's Island. This is one of the benefits of living in a windless zone. As long as it has strong strength, the Sea Kings in the light transmitting layer area are inexhaustible top-level ingredients. These ingredients are full of nutrition, which is the great tonic in the big tonic. It is also because of eating this kind of food since childhood, and the perfect hockey system, that the 9 snake warriors met the conditions for practicing hockey at a young age. Mastered the 2-color hockey, blue blue, blue blue. While Khan was tasting Sea King's delicacies, while chatting with the 3 Boya sisters. The shouting of the phone bug suddenly quieted down the atmosphere in the restaurant. After wiping his mouth with the handkerchief handed over by Hancock, Khan took out the phone bug he was carrying and connected the call. Moxie, I'm Doflamingo. Before Khan could speak, the phone bug imitated Doflamingo's evil and charming expression, referred to as evil spirit, and let out a unique laugh. Bah. I have found what you want. After 3 years of cooperation, Doflamingo has brought the greatest benefits to the Cross family, every time, and has successfully won the favor of Khan, and the title has changed from Khan Patriarch to Khan. Oh. Hearing this, Khan immediately expressed surprise and said, could it be that you have already found the Paramecia golden fruit? Waible. Yes, do you want me to contact Umit and ask his transport ship to deliver the devil fruit to New World for you? Doflamingo asked. No, you help me keep it first. Khan immediately said, I'll set off for North Blue later, and then you will hand it over to me. No problem. Contact me when you get to North Blue, and I'll give you an address. The phone bug imitated Doflamingo's appearance, nodded and said, nice job, Dover. Khan also gave Doflamingo what he wanted at the right time, and said with a smile, from now on, the Cross family, and the Don Quixote family, will be allies. After you enter the New World, I will temporarily lend you the flag of the Cross family, and authorize the business of ammunition and medicine to you. She. It's my honor. With Khan's promise, Phonebug immediately showed excitement. What Doflamingo wants more than arms is the flag of the Cross family and the authorization of medicines. The former allows the Don Quixote family to enter the New World without being harassed by forces other than the Overlord. Even if they are affiliated pirates of the Overlord, they dare not touch them. The latter is the top 3 best sellers in the Dark World. As long as Khan lets him sell the medicine, Doflamingo can definitely read a super high price. At that time, even a little agency fee can make him a lot of money. Moreover, Doflamingo cares more about personal connections than agency fees. The medicines from the Cross family can allow him to open up many relationships, and the contacts of the Don Quixote family will expand rapidly in New World. Compared with these harvests, a mere Paramecia golden fruit is not worth mentioning at all. Not knowing what Khan was going to do with the Paramecia golden fruit, Doflamingo thought he had made a fortune. Master, is that guy on the other end of the phone the former Celestial Dragon's Don Quixote Doflamingo you mentioned to me? After Khan hung up the phone, Hancock, who was sitting on his right hand and resting his chin with one hand, asked, Paramecia Jinjingwo, Master, what do you want this devil fruit for? Are you planning to recruit a new crew member? Having never been a slave, Hancock has no fear of celestial dragons. On the contrary, she still looks down on these world nobles. She had obviously killed a celestial dragons by her master, but not long after, because of the medicine problem, the senior management of the world government took the initiative to send someone over to show their favor. Aside from the privilege of wielding a marine, these celestial dragons are nothing special. What? Khan nodded and said, Paramecia golden fruit is related to the next expansion of our Cross family. As long as we get this devil fruit, our Cross family will become the richest first family in the world in the future. The richest family? Mary's beautiful eyes widened slightly, and said, could it be that this devil fruit can make gold? No, it cannot make gold. Khan shook his head and briefly explained. However, it can control gold, stretch and deform gold, and refine the quality of gold, which is the so-called purity. As long as we get this devil fruit, we can cultivate a Paramecia golden fruit ability user, and then buy some poor quality gold at a low price on the black market or the market, and then refine the gold into gold with high purity, and then use ability to turn it into gold jewelry or other things, and finally sell or auction it at a high price. Our income is at least several times, or even dozens of times, that of the purchase. I see. The girls of Hancock were suddenly stunned. In fact, Khan did not tell them that he would not sell any of the gold. Instead, like the original Golden Emperor, Gilder Tetsulo, build the world's largest entertainment city to attract a lucky girl to join, and earn money from the New World, and even the rich and nobles of other sea areas Bailey. Arms, drugs and entertainment, the Cross family will become a giant in these 3 fields in the future. As for who will Khan choose to eat after getting the Paramecia golden fruit? This point, Khan had already decided 3 years ago when he went to Doflamingo. And that candidate is a member of the original Straw Hat Pirates and the absolute #1 female, Nami known as Little Thieves. In Khan's impression, there are only two people who are most compatible with Paramisha Jinjingwo. One is because I have no money, so the person I like becomes a slave of celestial dragons, and I also become a slave. After escaping from Marie Joyce, instead of daring to hate celestial dragons, I attribute all my faults to my lack of money. Therefore, Gilder Tetsolo is obsessed with money. And the other one is because the adoptive mother has no money and only has 100,000 berries. She either saves herself or saves her two daughters, so she chooses to die herself, and then sacrifices her life for the enemy in exchange for buying back the village with 100 million berries. Nami began his 8-year theft career with the agreement. If there is no change in the future direction, then see Circle Calendar 1507, that is, next year, the fisherman Fisher Tiger will climb up Marie Joyce with bare hands, liberate thousands of imprisoned slaves of different races, and become a world-renowned hero tiger. It was also that year that the Sun Pirates was formally established. After a few years, Fisher Tiger refused to transfuse human blood and died in hatred. From then on, the dragon, who is full of hatred for human beings, will be captured by Kizaru, who is still Vice Admiral. After this incident, naval headquarters ushered in a new generation. Kong was promoted to the commander-in-chief of the three armies, and lived in the Holy Land Marie Joyce. Marine Admiral Buddha's Sengoku has become the new generation of Marine Marshal, and the three Marine Monsters Vice Admiral has become the new generation of three admirals. After Sengoku took office, 7 warlords of the sea began to add new members. Among them, there is one of the cadres of the original Sun Pirates, and the captain of the new Sun Pirates, Seaman, Jinbei. After Jinbei became Shichibukai, he immediately bailed out the evil dragon imprisoned in Impel Down. Unable to accept Jinbei as his boss, the evil dragon took some of his companions and established the Evil Dragon Pirates. From the Grand Line to the weakest East Blue, he established the Evil Dragon Empire in Kokoja village, began an 8-year reign. Khan wasn't interested in Gilder Tetsolo, who would be deformed inside when he came out. If the opponent has already become a Paramisha Golden Fruit user before he finds the Paramisha Golden Fruit, Khan may use force to suppress him, and then force him to take Gulen Tezolo as his subordinate power. And now, Paramisha Golden Fruit has fallen into his own hands. Rather than using it to cultivate an ambitious white-eyed wolf who may betray him at any time, Khan is more inclined to use this devil fruit to give himself a good understanding of her character, and everyone knows Nami very well, and she will be a super beautiful Nami in the future. Unfortunately, Khan forgot where Belmul was in East Blue and picked up Nami and Nokigao. Otherwise, Khan would have made a trip to East Blue in the past 3 years to cut off his beard. If he cuts off his beard in advance, Khan can personally train Nami and Nuo Kagao. But now, Khan obviously can't directly recruit Belle and Mayer's mother and daughter. Because Belmel is a righteous marine and hates pirates very much. If he went to recruit them, Belmel would definitely refuse, and even tell Nami and Nuo Kagao, who have not yet finalized their 3 views, about Khan's record, defining him as a great pirate who is extremely evil and destroys the island. And in this time period, Nami is not obsessed with money much. Khan likes beautiful women, but not all beautiful women like them. He flattered Scarlet, Violet, and Man Shirley, and patiently led them to repeat their adventures for the sake of Dressrosa and the kingdom of Don Tata. Cutting off the 3 sisters of Huboya is also to get Daughter Island in the allegiance of Hancock, the world's #1 beauty and future superpower. Only Robin and Koala are the ones that Khan didn't specifically look for. After encountering them by accident, out of the goodwill of the previous life, he chose to extend his hand to them. Except for Robin and Koala, Khan approached any woman with a purpose. A Grandmaster trilingual, highly educated, Khan is a refined egoist. Therefore, Khan is going to wait until Belle is dead, let Nami see the darkness of the world, and then reach out to her for help. In this way, she will be easily squeezed into her own shape by Khan, just like the Robin girls. Because of the obsession with money caused by the death of her adoptive mother, when Nami eats the Paramisha Golden Fruit, she will be able to awaken this devil fruit in the next 10 walks. So after getting the Paramisha Golden Fruit, Khan will temporarily store it, and give this devil fruit to Nami after a few years. After the family dinner, Khan and his gang set off for North Blue immediately. This time, the 3 Boya sisters also joined the team. Daughter's Island is in a windless zone, and no one knows the news of Hancock's return to be the Empress. So they left with the team at ease. At night, the Grandine flew away from the windless zone and returned to the sea from the air. It did not use the power of mind to control the wind, but was driving slowly at a neither fast nor slow speed. In the large bathhouse of the cabin, Khan and his gang are taking a bath. Of course, this group does not include Sonia and Koala, who is only 7 years old this year. Just Con and Robin, and Hancock and Mary. Since all the staff in the future will be able-bodied, when Con asked the shipbuilding company to renovate the Grandine, the height of the big bathhouse was the same as Hancock's bathhouse in the palace, allowing everyone to sit in the water and stick their heads out. At this time, Con was sitting in the water with his head above the water and his arms resting on the edge of the bath. Without using telekinesis to wrap his body, even if Con has the physique of a natural destroyer, he still feels extremely helpless at this time. The 3 girls, Robin, Hancock and Mary, wearing a white bath towel, are kneeling and sitting on the ground at this time, working together to help Con massage his arms and head. After soaking in the bath for a while, Con didn't get up from the bath until his body was completely weak. After opening his hands and letting Robin tie a towel on him, Con sat down on a stool again. Then, Con watched the 3 maids throw away their bathrobes, put bath wave on their bodies, and came over to help him wash his hair and scrub. After 3 years, Un can finally enjoy the rubbing of a maid again. After the 3 Boya sisters temporarily left the team, if it weren't for Con and Robin, the godfather of the gangster, he almost forgot how to take a shower. After taking a shower, the 4 of Con came to another room. Putting on a bathrobe, Con lay on an oversized massage bed and continued to enjoy the massage skills of 3 maids. At the same time, Con sighed in his heart, this is life. Soon, Yinan fell asleep in a comfy state. Wait until his biological clock, at 6 o'clock in the morning, pulls him out of sleep on time. Con, who opened his eyes, first glanced at the 3 daughters who, relying on the identity of the head maid, occupied his left and right sides, and Mary could only lie next to Hancock. Then, relying on strong willpower and resisting the desire to be lazy and sleep in the cage, Con woke up the 3 girls and asked them to tie on their bath towels and go back to their room to change clothes. Watching the backs of the 3 women leaving, Con calmed down a certain impulse before getting up and going back to the room to wash. If it weren't for the real age of the 3 girls, they would not be as old as Tien Ba. Mental age, except for Robin, Hancock and Mary are immature, and Con has long stretched out his claws to them. A few more years, a few more years. Con, who was chanting these words in his heart, went to the gym after washing up and began to use Ishin. While using telekinesis to support the Grandine, control the wind to accelerate. While doing a simple warm-up, Yinan went to the restaurant for breakfast when Hancock and the girls came over to call him after they were ready for breakfast. After a short rest, Con and his team started the morning training. The first is to check the progress of the 3 Boya sisters. Con only defends but not attack. Let the 3 Boya sisters use hockey and marine 6 styles, and even the fruit ability to attack him. Under the protection of the entire ship under the power coverage, even if Hancock makes a full attack, and can still block her lightning strike with the psychic shield, but the impact is relatively large. It has to be said that the 3 Boya sisters, as fighters of the 9 snakes, are very talented. Not being shadowed and feared by the celestial dragons, not wasting years of formative years with Marie Joyce, turning 18 3 years ago into an adult. Mary, who ate the fruit of Paramisha Jiancheng, has mastered 2-color hockey in the past 3 years, majored in armament hockey, and mastered all marine 6 styles, but she has not developed the extension skills of 6 styles. If she transformed into an 80-meter tall boss, even Con would need 3 to 5 punches to destroy Mary's castle. But because it was in the gym, Mary didn't do that. And Sonia, who ate the Phantom Beast vampire form, has also mastered 2-color hockey in the past 3 years. She originally majored in observation hockey. After becoming a capable person, once she uses ultrasonic waves, observation hockey will skyrocket to Con and Hancock. Unique level. The incomparable ghostly shapeshifting also allows Sonia to master the high-speed movement stronger than shaving steps. With the bat wings and moonwalk of both hands, Sonia used the razor of Rob Lucci in the original book when practicing with Con. Need ghostly flying ability. If this kind of flying method is used in the field of night, it will definitely scare those who are not strong enough in observation hockey. The unique level of perception, combined with the field of night and the absorption of life, even if it is Con, if he does not use telekinesis to cooperate with the unique level of perception, he must cover his body with armament hockey with an amazing capacity, so as not to be sucked into one by Sonia. Old man. Fortunately, although Con has not yet comprehended the advanced use of Conqueror's hockey, his strength is still immune to Sonia's conceptual power, and he did not make a fool of himself in front of his maid. Finally, there is Hancock. Both of them didn't play the real game, and Hancock didn't use the ability of Thunderfruit, but just used 2-color hockey and marine 6 styles. Let Con see the results of her 3 years of cultivation. Just like the two younger sisters, Hancock has mastered all 6 forms in the past 3 years, and has also developed various extended techniques. However, most of the extended skills are integrated with Thunderfruit's ability. Only when performing these stretches, Hancock will use a little power of thunder and lightning. Faced with Hancock's 6 form and 6 form extended techniques, Khan easily blocked them. However, when Hancock used the advanced use of armament hockey, Khan's natural destroyer body, which would shatter a giant's knife and slash him, would not feel a little pain, but would break the blade, and finally felt a little pain for a long time. While Hancock's hockey isn't strong enough, Khan's internal damage can only hurt a bit after breaking through Khan's armament hockey and invulnerable skin defenses. But it was this pain that made Khan excited. Next, Khan transferred the battlefield from the gym to the lawn-style deck, using telekinesis to protect the lawn and ship side, as well as various outdoor furniture, and then competed with Hancock on armament hockey on the deck. Khan no longer only defends but does not attack, but controls his own strength, entwines armament hockey and attacks Hancock. Hancock, on the other hand, uses the advanced use of armament hockey to counterattack. The invisible force repeatedly broke through Khan's armament hockey and his invulnerable skin, causing Khan's arm to ache. Every time Khan bumps his fist, Khan releases his natural observation hockey. When touching, he reads Hancock's memory, and wants to see what it feels like when she comprehends and uses the advanced use of armament hockey. Did it? Yes, Khan is stealing by reading people's minds now. I have to say that the natural observation hockey's ability to read people's hearts is really a miracle. Just like in the game, the Red Earl just read Luffy's memory, and then he can use the leaves of Zone, Dog Fruit, Phantom Beast species, Raccoon form to copy Enel, Marine Admiral and Robin, as well as the ability is the same. Khan and Hancock played against each other through a turn-based battle, and used the natural observation hockey to read Hancock's memory. In the already vast memory, he found the picture when Hancock mastered the advanced use of armament hockey, and tried to substitute it. There is also the feeling of being entangled with high-level armed colors again and again, trying to substitute into it, and then secretly learn that technique. 3 days later, when the Grandine flew over the upside-down mountain, it finally arrived at North Blue. In another early training session, Khan finally realized that technique with a flash of inspiration. Then, a magical picture appeared on Khan's body. I saw that Khan's fist, and even his entire arm, were no longer covered with the dark substance that only those who had awakened hockey could see. Rather, it is a blue, flowing hockey. This is the advanced application of armament hockey, loudspeaker. Is this the advanced use of armament hockey? Looking at the mobile hockey in his hand, which is the same color as Nyan Libo but different from Nyan Libo, Khan sighed slightly. It feels similar to the hero's gun, but it is more diverse than the hero's gun. The current Khan only feels that once he punches out, the flowing hockey in his hand will turn into a terrifying shockwave, just like beating a cow across a mountain, directly ignoring the things in front and causing terrible damage to the objects behind. This effect is very similar to 6 Styles' 6 King's Spear, King's Fist and Hero's Spear. However, the 6 King's Spear, the King's Fist, and the Giant's Hero's Spear all just send out a shockwave. These 3 moves are all one-off attacks. On the other hand, the advanced use of armament hockey is that in addition to launching a one-time shockwave that destroys the interior, it can also be transformed into an invisible shield similar to the Paramecia barrier fruit to resist the enemy's attack. In addition, the host can also choose not to release the flowing hockey, but to cover the fists and weapons, and even the body, to enhance the strength of the fists and weapons, the defense of the body, and so on. It is this diversity that puts armament hockey's external release and internal destruction at a higher level. Looking at the entire pirate world, 99.99% of the pirates are blocked from this meaning. Doflamingo, who awakened Conqueror's hockey at the age of 8, did not enter this realm at the age of 41. The same goes for Ace and Katakuri, who awakened Conqueror's hockey at the age of 10. Katakuri is a little better, at least he majored in observation hockey, and mastered the future prediction of observation hockey. And Ace, who learned armament hockey in 1 day, failed to enter this realm even after he died. On the other hand, Luffy only learned the advanced use of armament hockey after being beaten by Kaido and stayed in the cell for 8 days. Prior to this, he also comprehended the future prediction of observation hockey by virtue of the battle with Katakuri. Not long after he was released from prison, he mastered the Conqueror's winding and awakened the Nika fruit. In just over a month, Luffy's strength skyrocketed from 500 million Baileys to 3 billion Baileys. However, Khan is more pervert than Luffy in comprehending the advanced use of armament hockey. It is also a practical faction, but Khan only had a 3-day turn-based duel with Hancock, and successfully used the natural observation Haki to master the advanced use of armament Haki. After successfully comprehending the advanced use of armament Haki and realizing how convenient this ability is, Khan is even more looking forward to predicting the future, Conqueror's entanglement, and even killing knowledge. As long as he masters the other 2 advanced uses, he will have the capital to surpass the 3 monsters. Because Khan is the chosen one, observation Haki has one more ability to read people's hearts than the 3 monsters. Moreover, this reading ability can also ignore the experience of knowledge killing and the combat experience that the weak are not as good as the strong. If Khan still masters knowledge killing, then he will have no flaws in all aspects. After all, his thoughts force wave, even the sea can be ignored. At that time, Khan will be the strongest creature in the sea, land and air. Khan, who was in an extremely happy mood, immediately took out his phone bug and contacted Doflamingo, and got an address soon. Before robbing the heavenly gold and threatening the world government to come to the legal status of 7 warlords of the sea, Doflamingo and his Don Quixote family need to change a stronghold almost every once in a while. Because the person who hunted him down was Naval Headquarters think tank, Crane Vice Admiral, who was also a Paramecia rule type ability user. Whether in wisdom or strength, Doflamingo and his Don Quixote family are no match for Crane Vice Admiral and her female soldiers. So once he sees a warship, regardless of whether the bow is the sign of Vice Admiral or not, Doflamingo, who is cautious and suspicious, will abandon his current stronghold without hesitation and flee immediately with his family. This has led to the fact that although Doflamingo looks like a bereaved dog in the past 3 years, he has been mixed up in the dark world of North Blue. As one of the smartest people in the world, in the hands of a woman who is also the smartest in the world, he escaped for several years without being caught. Doflamingo has long realized that IN has secretly established cooperation with the world government. Crane Vice Admiral will crack down on all the businesses of the Don Quixote family, except for the arms sold by the Don Quixote family to the Cross family. Therefore, every time Doflamingo helped Khan sell arms, he would do some other business, which made Crane Vice Admiral helpless. This is why Doflamingo is so eager for the Cross family banner and drug authorization. The former can allow oneself to develop wretchedly in New World, and the latter can allow oneself to open up relationships and expand contacts. And these 2 things are the existence that Khan gave him at will, and can also take back at will. Doflamingo, who once stood at the top of the world and enjoyed all the privileges, understands that this is the benefit of having top strength and top power. Doflamingo does not have these 2 things, so he has to curry favor with Khan, the future Sea Lord, drink a mouthful of soup he bestows, and slowly become a big shot. Only then is he qualified to have an equal dialogue with Khan and become his true ally. Otherwise, this so-called ally is no different from a dog raised by Khan. After getting the address of Doflamingo, it took only 1 day for Khan and his gang to drive the Grandine to the current stronghold of Don Quixote family. The base chosen by Don Quixote family is still a small town with people. Only where there are people, Marines dare not bombard the islands, and they can escape. So in the past 3 years, Doflamingo has never chosen an uninhabited island as a temporary base for the Don Quixote family. What an evil breath is that guy Doflamingo. Hancock, who had just landed on the island and had never seen Doflamingo, instantly found the target of this trip with his unique perception, and commented, "But he is so weak, he really deserves to be our ally?" "The weak who are capable are the best allies," Khan said to Kaido meaningfully. Really. Having been the Empress for 3 years, Hancock, who was no longer pure in some respects, immediately understood what Khan meant, and nodded in agreement. She. Long time no see, Khan. Just like 3 years ago, the Grandine had just landed, and the eyeliner of the Don Quixote family told the top cadres the news. Before Khan and his gang went to find Doflamingo, the pair descended from the sky on Sky's path and greeted Khan. Long time no see, Dover. Khan also responded with a smile. Wah did not say. This is the world's most beautiful Cross family's battle-made head, made of thunder, Boa Hancock? After saying hello to Khan, Doflamingo's gaze was attracted by Hancock, who was already the second tallest in the family, wearing high heels. However, the reason why Doflamingo's eyes were attracted was not Hancock's most beautiful cheeks in the world, but because he was a little older in the past 3 years, and he hadn't customized a tailor-made outfit yet, so he could only wear white with the red Hydra logo on it. Cheongsam. Seeing the logo on the Cheongsam, the evil smile on Doflamingo's face froze slightly, and the pupils under the sunglasses shrank even more. This logo. I noticed this sign when I first came here. You guys are quite discerning. Hancock held his head high and said arrogantly, yes, Aisha is the head maid of the Cross family and also the female trainer of 9 snakes. It's actually the Empress of 9 snakes. Doflamingo's heart suddenly set off a stormy sea. For Hydra, Doflamingo is simply not too familiar. It's short for a country, but also a fighting nation and pirates, and even a kind of hockey. This country is called Amazon Lily Kingdom, and the island where it is located is also called Daughter Island by the world. This island is the same fantasy island as the Fishmen Island, and it is also a sanctuary for men that is more difficult to reach than the Fishmen Island. Going to the Fishmen Island only needs coding, avoiding the Sea Kings in the deep sea, and the weak still have a certain chance of arriving. To go to Daughter Island, you need to pass through the windless zone, and you will definitely encounter the attack of Sea Kings. Except for the strong who can ignore the Sea Kings, the weak who enter the windless zone are almost certain to die. On Daughter Island, there is a fighting nation. The pirate group established by this fighting nation has also used their powerful strength to make the whole world remember them for hundreds of years. Kuja pirates, all women, all hockey. This is a hockey powerhouse that lives in the windless zone and survives the harsh environment of the windless zone. And every generation of 9 Snake Empress will be one of the strongest female pirates of that era. If Doflamingo remembers correctly, every generation of 9 Snake Empresses is also the owner of Conqueror's hockey. As if thinking of something, a little cold sweat broke out on Doflamingo's forehead. The Queen of 9 Snakes is one of the maids. Does that mean that the entire Amazon Lily Kingdom and 9 Snake Pirates are actually affiliated forces and affiliated pirate groups of the Cross family? Originally relying on the strongest Gemini combination of Cross Khan and Boa Hancock, as well as the influence of the only drug, the Cross family, that was already a first-class force on the surface, is not only worthy of the name, but also it is far underestimated by the world. The most critical force of the Overlord force was replenished in an instant. Now Cross Khan is not far away from the position of the Overlord of the Sea, right? Thinking of this, Doflamingo was full of pressure and at the same time excited to hug his thigh. Although it is difficult for him and the Don Quixote family to catch up with the Cross family, who is only a little short of the Overlord power, but the stronger the Cross family, the more gold the banner has. So, Doflamingo immediately placed Hancock under Khan. This world's most beautiful woman is definitely the undoubted second in command of the Cross family. A type that no one can shake, and I must give her the same respect as Khan. I saw that after Doflamingo calmed down, his iconic evil smile appeared on his face again, and he said with a unique laugh, "Hey, hey, hey. So it's His Majesty the King of 9 Snakes, what a medical gift." Humph. Seeing Doflamingo, who was very polite, but sinister and full of disobedience, Hancock snorted proudly. Doflamingo didn't care about that either. 3 years ago, anyone who saw Hancock's reward order could analyze Hancock's character through the photos. Eat the Thunder Fruit, which is known as the strongest in Logia, has the most beautiful appearance in the world, and is also the 9 Snake Empress of the hockey power, who has Conqueror's hockey. If one is born with the world's top physical fitness, at the age of 10, he eats Zone Dragon Fruit Phantom Beast Dragon form. At the age of 15 he becomes Cross with a bounty of 1.555 billion Baileys if Khan is the son of the world. Then Hancock, who has the above, is the daughter of the world. If Doflamingo has such an invincible fruit ability, the most handsome appearance in the world, and a hockey power, with 3 or 4 figures of hockey soldiers and citizens, Doflamingo will be more arrogant than Hancock. If he were Hancock, he would have left the Cross family immediately and become the boss himself. There is no doubt that Naval Headquarters bounty of 592 million for Hancock is simply too low. This combination, as Morgan said in the paper, is the strongest combination of this era. Seeing all Doflamingo's heartfelt wishes, Khan was very satisfied with his wit. In this sea of idiots everywhere, there are really too few self-aware people like Doflamingo. After exchanging greetings at the pier, Khan and his gang, led by Doflamingo, came to a villa. This time, Khan didn't use Conqueror's hockey to break into the house. So this time, the top cadres of Don Quixote family, as well as outstanding ordinary cadres and good seedlings, are all waiting at the door for the arrival of the owner and distinguished guests. Among these Don Quixote family members, Khan recognized several people at a glance. One is Baby 5, one is Trafalgar Law, and the other is Corazon, who plays dumb. After bringing Khan and his group to the villa, Doflamingo officially introduced to Khan the top cadres of the Don Quixote family. Of course, rather than introducing to Khan, it would be better to say that they are introducing to Robin a few girls. In the future, the size of Don Quixote family will become larger, and after the business spreads all over the world, it is impossible for Khan and Doflamingo to do everything by themselves. Some big and small matters must be handed over to their respective top cadres. The top cadre of the Cross family is Khan's personal maid group. Khan, who was born observation hockey and understood the purpose of Doflamingo's move, also introduced his personal maid team. After the introduction, Doflamingo brought Khan and his group to the living room of the villa, and then took out what Khan wanted, and brought Khan a super good news 6. North Blue's black market auction? Suspected to have the strongest devil fruit auction? When Khan heard Doflamingo's words, he was surprised and said, "Are you sure?" "Pretty close." Doflamingo nodded, and said in an affirmative tone, "This news is the gossip that I entrusted the black market to help me buy Paramecia golden fruit, and they gave me free gifts when I traded with them face to face. In this auction, there will be at least 3 devil fruits for auction, and it is said that they are all very rare devil fruits." "There are so many 3? Khan raised an eyebrow, surprised. It really deserves to be the sea area with the strongest comprehensive strength in the 4 seas, even the gold content of the auction is so high. Immediately, Khan seemed to think of something, and the corner of his mouth raised slightly. "If that's the case, let's take a trip. I'm also looking forward to whether the is true." He said so on the lips, but in his heart, as Doflamingo said just now, he felt that the news should be almost true. Because of this auction, selected with Doflamingo. If Khan doesn't know Doflamingo now, and to be precise, if Doflamingo hasn't found the Paramecia golden fruit during this period of time, then Doflamingo is going to participate in this auction. And in this auction, Doflamingo is likely to harvest one or all devil fruits. Among these 3 devil fruits, there might be Logia snow fruit, or Paramecia childlike fruit and Paramecia weapon fruit. In the past 3 years, Khan remembered a bit of insignificant but very useful information for him. That is Monet and Granos, they are actually sisters. In the manga and anime, there is no talk about their relationship. But in the question and answer of SBS Outside the Plot, the author of One Piece admitted that they are indeed sisters, and they joined the Don Quixote family 2 years after Corazon was killed. Doflamingo placed high hopes on Logia snow fruit and Paramecia tongshu fruit are given to them. Khan vaguely remembered that the time when Corazon was killed was when Luo was about to die. And now, Luo has more than 3 years left. In other words, Corazon will be killed 3 years later, while Monet and Sugar will join the Don Quixote family factory after 5 years. Totally on point. There is a high probability that Doflamingo has not obtained Paramecia weapon fruit, Logia snow fruit and Paramecia children's fruit. If there is really 1 or 2 of these 3 devil fruits in this auction, then counting the current Paramecia golden fruit, Khan will definitely harvest 3 rare devil fruits this trip. Thinking of this, Khan looked at Doflamingo with more satisfaction. Not only capable, but also a lucky star. Then I will cut you off without hesitation. She. Then for the next few days, you will live here temporarily. Doflamingo had no knowledge of Khan's inner thoughts. Seeing that Khan agreed, his current mood is nothing but ecstasy. For this auction, North Blue's black market must not only invite him alone, there must be other dark giants or powerful forces present. At that time, those guys who are at the same level as him, are stronger than him, will be full of fear of him when they see that his backer is the walking natural disaster from New World. When they started to investigate information about themselves and Khan, and found that they were selling arms for Cross Khan, they would not dare to provoke him. In this way, Don Quixote family can basically walk sideways in North Blue as long as they don't provoke the existence of Germa 66. And all of this was obtained with just a gossip. I don't know what devil fruits Doflamingo will be auctioned in the auction, but I just feel that I have made a lot of money. Born observation hockey once again saw Doflamingo's aspirations. Khan resisted the urge to laugh out loud, shook his head and refused. "No, we are used to living on the Grandine, and when the auction starts, we will let's go together again." Doflamingo didn't force it, and said, "Then stay and have a meal, I have already arranged a banquet." "No problem." This time, Khan readily agreed. Unlike 3 years ago, the benefits that Doflamingo brought to him, as well as its own value, are all eligible for Khan to stay and have a meal with him. So, when the banquet started, Doflamingo saw the jaw-dropping picture again. Not only him, but even the top cadres of the Don Quixote family, widened their eyes and did not dare to take their seats at all. After Khan took his seat, Robin and his daughters did not sit beside him, but stood behind him. This includes Hancock, who is the queen of 9 snakes. Seeing the personal maid group of the top cadres of the Cross family, and the world's most beautiful woman who offered a bounty of 592 million Baileys, they didn't take their seats, but stood behind Khan. This is called Don Quixote family. How dare the top cadres, as well as other cadres and members, take their seats? Seeing Khan, who didn't tell the maids to sit down but started to eat, Doflamingo came back to his senses and was full of admiration for Khan. This is the winner in life. He ate by himself, and let the world's most beautiful woman, 9-snake empress, stand behind, while the other party really stood behind obediently, without any complaints. What level of training ability is this? Doflamingo also thought that the top cadre's personal maid group was to satisfy Khan's maid addiction. Unexpectedly, these maids are real maids. As everyone knows, Khan is also very helpless. Although in the eyes of outsiders, Hancock is the undoubted second in command of the Cross family. But in the family, Robin is actually the real big sister. As the most mature person and the one who single-handedly brought up Hancock's children, Luo Bao is the real second master. Robin defines himself as Khan's maid, so she also used the maid's standard to ask Hancock and them. You can sit and chat casually at the family banquet, because it is a family. But when the Cross family entertains other forces, or participates in banquets held by other forces, they must not be too big or small, and must be a qualified maid, and must not embarrass the master. Hancock was taught this way by Luo when he was still 12 years old physically and innocent in heart. The 3 Boya sisters were qualified maids 3 years ago. Even after being the empress for 3 years, Hancock has not forgotten her identity, nor does she feel ashamed. On the contrary, after sensing the emotions of Doflamingo and those top officials, Hancock was still a little complacent. Master must be very proud now. In this world, only the master is qualified to let the concubine lower her profile, to be a humble maid. Since none of the top cadres dared to take their seats, only Khan and Doflamingo could enjoy the delicacies of this banquet. Fortunately, Khan is a natural destroyer, he eats a lot, and doesn't waste food. After the banquet, Khan did not stay to chat with Doflamingo, but after saying hello, he returned to the Grandine with the maid team. Then Khan drove the Grandine and took the 3 Boya sisters who came to North Blue for the first time to visit other islands. It was not until the day before the auction that Khan received a call from Doflamingo that Khan used telekinesis to control the wind and came to join Doflamingo on the same day. Early the next morning, the Grandine with the flag of Cross family, and the Numantia Flamingo with the flag of Don Quixote family, went to the black market for auction. Islands, drive and lose. The auction location of the black market is in the capital of a joined country called Paternyanmi Kingdom. Have to say, this choice is perfect. New World is a paradise for pirates, where Marine cannot cover the sky with one hand, and must maintain a balance with allied countries and maritime hegemony. The first half of the Grand Line is the sea area ruled by naval headquarters, where Marine is the absolute overlord. And the overlords of the 4 seas are not pirates and Marines, but countries that are members of the world government. Because the whole world is a rural place, it is difficult to get out of a big pirate like Cross Khan, who has not yet entered the Grand Line and whose strength is in the New World and is also a first-class powerhouse. Therefore, all the pirates in the 4 seas can be crushed by people with sea tactics. If someone dares to make trouble in the territory of the franchise country, he will have to face the crusade of the resident army. If he fails to get rid of the resident army quickly, he will face the capture of the Marine who rushed over from the nearby waters. Except for idiots who have no self-knowledge about their own strength, or strong men who have arrogant strength, anyone with a little brain dare not make trouble in the capital of the Alliance country. The black market chooses to conduct auctions here, so it is not afraid of being moved and fighting on the street. As a price, they only need to pay a little money to the franchise countries. After arriving at the Paternyanmi Kingdom, Khan saw a large number of sailing ships with various flags and signs at the port. These sailboats range from small sloops to medium ketches to large 3-masted schooners. With a brief glance at the sailboats and flags, Khan didn't recognize any of them. At the same time, he did not see the Germa 5 grams, one of the overlords of North Blue, in these sailboats. Thinking about it is also true, it is impossible for Germa 66 inches to appear here. Because this is a kingdom, and the evil army that the North Blue is notorious for. If the other party comes over, it will alarm the entire franchise country immediately, and I am afraid that Germa 66 inches has accepted the war employment and came to attack their country. Then Vince Mo K. Judge will also receive a warning from the world government immediately. Moreover, Vince Mo K. Judge is a scientist, He is not interested in devil fruit, and it is even more impossible to lower his status and come here to participate in the black market auction. Realizing that there are no big-name people, after coming to participate in the auction, Khan is even more sure that the Doflamingo in the original work got Logia snow fruit and Paramecia children's fruit, and even Paramecia weapon fruit in this auction of. The overlord of North Blue did not come to bid, so the biggest and richest people here are Doflamingo and Don Quixote family. Thinking of this, Khan was filled with anticipation for the upcoming auction. Led by Doflamingo, Khan and his gang came to a castle second only to the palace. Along the way, with members of the Don Quixote family, on the left and right, the group of personal maids following behind their master attracted the attention of everyone on the street. Because the appearance of this group is too high, and except for the most beautiful woman, everyone else is wearing black and white maid outfits, it is hard not to be noticed. But soon, some well-informed guys discovered the identity of Khan and that peerless beauty who didn't wear a maid outfit, and his face suddenly changed. Among them, there are quite a few people who came to participate in the auction. Damn it, the black market actually invited such a dangerous person over this time, is it trying to kill us? Let's go, the good things in this auction have already been reserved by big shots. Even if there are really good things, whoever dares to bid and leaves this island afterwards will be robbed, so leave here quickly. That guy is the Joker, he actually has a relationship with the walking scourge, no wonder the Don Quixote family will become one of the giants in the dark world of North Blue. It's really bad luck. The voice of cursing rang out from different crowds, and passed into the ears of Khan and Hancock, who had a unique perception. Some people who had just landed on the island immediately went back the same way and prepared to leave the island immediately. For these people's approach, Khan and Hancock are full of admiration. As someone said, the good stuff in this auction has already been reserved by Khan. If someone competes viciously with him, Khan doesn't mind letting him go and robbing him afterwards. Doflamingo took out the invitation letter and led Khan and his group into the castle, where a living room with a large area came into view. The living room is divided into two. On the left is the venue filled with buffet and drinks, and on the right is the auction venue filled with seats and a temporary stage. Khan and his group did not go to the buffet, but sat on the first row of special seats specially prepared for the Cross family by Doflamingo, waiting for the start of the auction. In Khan and Hancock's perception, many places in this living room are filled with surveillance phone bugs. I believe their every move is in the eyes of the person in charge of the black market at this auction. Khan, who is already in a high position, came to participate in the auction in the countryside this time, and did not make any small moves. Instead, he chatted with Doflamingo and Robin while waiting for the auction to start. Soon, more and more people entered the living room, and more people took their seats. Everyone noticed Khan's group sitting in the first row, and many people discovered the identity of Khan's group. Just like the people outside, some timid guys got up and left the castle without even sitting on their buttocks, choosing to give up this auction. Anyone who dares to compete with this monster that destroys the island is looking for a dead end. When the auction started, 1/3 of the seats in the auction house were empty. Soon, the host arranged by the black market boarded the temporary stage. After simply exaggerating the atmosphere, the auction officially began. When the first auction item appeared, Khan's eyes lit up immediately, and he was even more sure that the gold content of this auction was higher than expected. Because the first auction item is a famous knife. Although it is only a low-level Liankui knife, it is also one of only 50 famous knives in each famous knife selection. The first auction item is a famous knife, and the finale might be devil fruit. Khan became more certain as each lot was sold by others and Doflamingo. Among these auction items, Khan saw sniper rifles, machine guns, and sea stones with a range far beyond his previous life, which can only be achieved by the black technology of this world. Compared to the auction house of the Sabaody archipelago, which specializes in slave trade, the North Blue auction is the real auction. Soon, what Khan wanted finally appeared. Gentlemen and ladies. The next auction item is the legendary sea secret treasure, the devil fruit that ordinary people can gain the power to soar into the sky after eating it. When the employee came up with a treasure box, he put it on a small table. The host opened the treasure chest with one hand, held the microphone in the other, and shouted. After the identification of the devil fruit illustrated book, the devil fruit around me is the Paramecia childlike fruit among the 3 series of devil fruits. This is a very rare devil fruit. It is said that those who eat it will stop growing their bodies, and can turn human beings and animals they encounter into toys. The toys will obey all orders of the capable person. Hearing this, the audience was in an uproar. There is such a devil fruit? Even Hancock's girl's beautiful eyes widened at this time. And Doflamingo felt a pang of regret. This is not a rare devil fruit. This is clearly one of the top paramecia, and it is also the same rule as Crane Vice Admiral. The black market can even get such a top devil fruit? And even put it up for auction. Do you want to be so reckless? If Doflamingo knew that it was the fruit of paramecia childlike fun, he would never tell Khan the good news, but would come over and photograph it himself, and then use it to cultivate family members. And now, this devil fruit may fall into Khan's hands. Really? When the host announced that the starting price was 100 million Baileys, Khan waved his hand like celestial dragons. I bid 1 billion. Sitting in the legendary Golden Town, West Blue and North Blue have the Capone family and the Don Quixote family for continuous blood transfusions, and New World has the best-selling drug in the dark world. Khan's current social status cannot be estimated with wealth and wealth described. Bailey, for him, is just a string of numbers. Khan was too lazy to bid with others, so he threw out 1 billion yuan one after another, which stunned Quan He. Faced with this 10-figure quotation, no one bid with Khan, nor did he have the ability, let alone the courage. So, after paramecia sweet fruit and paramecia duanzi fruit, Khan finally got the third devil fruit of paramecia rule type. After paramecia tongchu fruit was obtained, Khan did not wait until the end of the auction to trade it. Instead, he directly used telekinetic power to hold up the treasure box containing the devil fruit and let it float in front of him. After reaching out to take out the paramecia tongchu fruit, Khan said directly to Mary, "Mary, pay." "Yes, master." Mary immediately opened a small door from her body, took out 10 thumb-sized black boxes, and placed them on the ground. When the transparent white mask covering the box dissipated, 10 ordinary black boxes appeared neatly under the stage. Khan checked the paramecia childlike fruit, put it back into the treasure chest, and handed it to Mary. Then Mary put the treasure chest back into her body. Seeing this scene, the host did not dare to speak at all, and could only look at a certain corner where the surveillance phone bug was installed. Soon, several men in black suits came out from behind the stage and took all 10 boxes away. Seeing this, the host breathed a sigh of relief, and then continued to start the auction. And the next auction item is still a treasure chest. Seeing this scene, those who also received the gossip showed unwillingness on their faces. Obviously, in this auction, there will really be at least 3 devil fruits for auction. If there wasn't Cross Khan, the great pirate from New World, this time the auction items would be those North Blue people competing. With their financial resources and strength, they might be able to eat a piece of meat, or steal other people's meat. But now, they can only watch Khan eat meat, but they dare not grab meat from the tiger's mouth. When the host opened the treasure chest, there was indeed a devil fruit inside. Gentlemen and ladies, this auction item is still a sea treasure, and it is the same paramecia devil fruit as before. The host took out the devil fruit in the treasure chest, held it in one hand, and shouted with the microphone in the other hand. After the identification of the devil fruit illustrated book, this devil fruit is called paramecia weapon fruit. As the name suggests, the person who eats this devil fruit will become a weapon man, who can turn any part of his body into a weapon. The starting price of this devil fruit is also 100 million Baileys, backquote. I offer 500 million. Almost at the moment when the host finished speaking, Khan made another offer. Despite this price, it is only half of paramecia tongchu fruit just now. But none of the people on the field dared to bid with Khan. One is their financial resources, far inferior to Khan. When the financial resources were far inferior to Khan, they dared to bid for the auction, causing Khan to lose more Baileys. Even if the Cross family did not retaliate against them, they were all North Blue forces like them, and they were also one of the North Blue Dark World giants. The Don Quixote family will take revenge on them. If Khan didn't bid with him and let him take the devil fruit away, the person who took the devil fruit would have to worry about whether a meteorite would fall from the sky and kill him alive even while walking on the road. When the financial resources and strength are far inferior to the other party, even people with some brain problems dare not open their mouths to bid for the auction. Fortunately, Khan didn't intentionally exploit the black market, and the black market made a profit of 500 million Baileys. Just like before, as the host tapped the hammer 3 times quickly, Khan used telekinesis to bring paramecia weapon fruit and asked Mary to pay the bill on the spot. Gentlemen and ladies, this auction has come to an end, and the next auction item will be the last one. It is the same as the previous 2 auction items. It is a sea secret treasure called the Devil Incarnate. Only. When another treasure box was placed on the table, the host immediately opened it and shouted passionately, This devil fruit is recognized by Devil Fruit Illustrated Book, and various popular science books, even the whole world. The strongest species among the 3 series of devil fruits, Logia snowfruit. Taking Logia snowfruit out of the treasure chest, the host glanced at the hot, flat, or struggling audience, who didn't know hockey, and continued to shout, "Just eat this devil fruit, then you will have the elementalization that is immune to all physical attacks, and you can control the elemental snow, as long as you don't encounter attribute-related restraints and seastone weapons, then no one in this world can hurt you." Not much nonsense. The starting price of this Logia snowfruit is also 100 million Baileys. I pay $1 billion. The atmosphere did not boil, but was deadly silent. Although the faces of many viewers are full of desire to get Logia snowfruit. But they all knew that the big man sitting in the first row would definitely not let go of the strongest one. Just as they expected, Khan once again quoted a 10-figure price, which instantly extinguished the enthusiasm of some guys who wanted to bid. In this era, 1 billion is very valuable. Among the people present, there may be quite a few guys who can offer 1 billion, but after they are taken out, they will definitely hurt their muscles and bones. After all, even Dressrosa, after paying the heavenly gold, the treasury can't afford 10 billion. 1 billion is definitely an astronomical sum. Cross Khan, who has paid 1.5 billion, is sure not only sawing Obito 1.5 billion. The maid with the space ability might hide most of the Cross family cash in her body, which is Cross Khan's mobile treasury. In fact, Logia snowfruit is not worth $1 billion at all. In Khan's eyes, among the 3 devil fruits, only Paramecia childlike fruit is the most precious, followed by Paramecia weapon fruit, and finally Logia snowfruit, which is the lower ability of Logia frozen fruit. Compared with those top Logias, Logia snowfruit is not even qualified to give Logia frozen fruit a shoe except for its elementalization. Even if he finds Monet in the future, Khan will not give her the Logia snowfruit, because it will lock Monet's potential. He will find another top devil fruit to maximize Monet's potential. As for Logia snowfruit, Khan plans to use it to train a deputy captain of the 9 snake pirates, to replace Hancock in managing the 9 snake pirates. After the relocation of Daughter Island, Khan has 3 islands in his hands. Counting Dressrosa, which will definitely be acquired in the future, there are 4 islands. Robin can't manage it alone, the whole maid team must work together. Managing the country is already too busy, and it is even more impossible for Hancock to manage the 9 snake pirates. But it is impossible to disband the 9 snake pirates that have been passed down for hundreds of years. Therefore, the appearance of an acting captain is needed. As for Paramecia weapon fruit is more precious than Logia snowfruit, why does Khan offer 1 billion servings? Simple, because Khan was in a good mood and wanted to reward the black market. If it weren't for them, if he wanted to get the Paramecia Tongchu fruit and Paramecia weapon fruit, he might need to owe Doflamingo a lot of favors. But now, I only need to pay 2.5 billion. For Khan, this amount of money is not even as large as the annual income Capone Beeg brings him, it is simply a drop in the bucket. Seeing that no one was bidding with Khan, the host quickly tapped the hammer 3 times, announcing the ownership of Logia snowfruit. Thus, the auction of the North Blue Dark World officially came to an end. Khan spent 2.5 billion Baileys to get 3 very rare and top-level devil fruits, becoming the biggest winner of this auction. Counting the Paramecia golden fruits obtained from Doflamingo, Khan directly harvested 4 devil fruits during this North Blue trip, which is simply a rewarding experience. After the auction was over, Khan greeted Doflamingo, who was heartbroken, and took Robin and his daughters to leave the Paternian secret kingdom, on the Grandine, preparing to leave North Blue directly and return to his daughter Island. Although he stayed for a meal a few days ago, the size of the Don Quixote family is still not qualified enough for Khan to stay on purpose to cultivate a relationship with Doflamingo. When Don Quixote family enters New World and becomes one of the giants in New World's Dark World, and its business spreads all over the world, Khan will regard Doflamingo as a real ally, and will also consider the feelings of allies. As for now, Khan's staying on will make Doflamingo overwhelmed. Because he was only playing around in North Blue, he couldn't even find a topic to chat with Khan. If he didn't pay attention to what he said, it might lower Khan's evaluation of him. Therefore, knowing that Monet and Granos still have 5 years to join the Don Quixote family, Khan is not in a hurry to find them immediately. Because this isn't Khan's last visit to North Blue. When Trafalgar Law has a lifespan of more than 3 years, and there is not much left, it is the time when Paramecia op fruit, which is called the ultimate devil fruit and is worth 5 billion Baileys, will appear. In the main story, like paramecia rubber fruit in the short story, is the ultimate devil fruit worth 5 billion Baileys, and Khan is bound to win it. As Dies Barreiros, who got paramecia op fruit, is also the father of X-Drake, one of the later, evil generations, said. Even a quack doctor who eats paramecia op fruit will become a world-renowned doctor. Such a famous doctor shouldn't be wandering in the sea, he is more suitable to stay in the Cross family, who sells medicine in the world. As long as they get paramecia op fruit and cultivate a world's #1 doctor, the Cross family will be able to open hospitals all over the world and become the #1 overlord in the medical field. When the new king of Magnetic Drum Island takes office, after the Wapol who ate the paramecia munch fruit and the doctors who made their own country rich are all driven out of Magnetic Drum Island, Khan will definitely send invitations to those doctors and let them become, the Cross family, our hospital directors and attending physicians all over the world. Back in New World, Khan has his hands full. After 3 years of precipitation, the return of the 3 Boya sisters, the Cross family is about to take off. 5 days later, with Khan deliberately slowing down the flight speed, the Grandine finally returned to Daughter Island. Then Sonia and Mary, representing Hancock's will, immediately announced the news of the relocation of Daughter Island to the soldiers and citizens. Roar. 2 days later, a dragon's roar that shocked all souls and resounded through the sky resounded from the palace of Amazon Lily Kingdom. I saw a blue head, about 150 meters in length, and about 100 meters in length with its wings spread out. It was a 4-legged dragon, soaring into the sky. A huge shadow covered the sky and the sun, covering the entire city like a cloudy sky. Looking up at the blue sky dragon in the sky, the soldiers and citizens who had never seen this legendary creature widened their eyes and showed horror. Boom. After a while, the fighters and citizens of 9 Snakes finally knew what method the Daughter Island used to complete the relocation. I saw that in the past 3 years, the complete body has changed from 100 meters to 150 meters, and the whole body is shining with dazzling blue light. Endless blue light, that is, Nyen Libo emanates from its body. At the same time, a not-so-strong earthquake occurred on Daughter Island below. Earthquakes come and go quickly. When the earthquake disappeared, some 9 snake warriors who were hunting outside near the coast immediately found that the sea level had become lower. Taking a closer look, this has become lower, and it is clearly their Daughter Island floating in the air. After supporting the entire Daughter Island with telekinetic power, Tianlong flapped its nearly 100-meter-long wings, set off a gust-like airflow, and flew in the direction of New World. This flight lasts for a week. Flying and stopping along the way, Tianlong finally returned to Dressrosa with Daughter Island in September. This time, Khan did not put the Daughter Island down immediately, but began to adjust the position of the island. Just like Charlotte Linland's Toto Land Kingdom, with Cake Island as the main body, ECFFE, 14 islands scattered around. Khan also takes Daughter Island as the main body, so that Dressrosa, Morlaix Island, and Yaoyuan Island, which is specially used for growing medicine, are located in the southeast, north, southeast and north directions of Daughter Island. Among them, Morlaix Island and Yaoyuan Island are located in the north-south direction, separated by a Daughter Island. These 2 islands also represent the arms and drug business of the Cross family. Dressrosa, on the other hand, is located on the east side. There is still an island located in the west, which is a big cross. The return of Tianlong immediately attracted the attention of the people of Dressrosa and outsiders. It was the first time for an outsider to come to Dressrosa, and also the first time to see the legendary, walking natural disaster. Looking at the huge sky dragon, they were all dumbfounded. If it weren't for knowing that Cross Khan and Dressrosa are in a cooperative relationship and an ally relationship, these weak guys might have been so frightened that their legs trembled. And those eyeliners who were inserted by the major forces, or the paparazzi who came to watch to see if there was any big news, seemed to have discovered something, and their expressions suddenly changed. Some looked horrified, while others showed ecstasy. Among the crowd, some well-disguised people walked to a deserted place one after another, took out the phone bugs they carried with them, and told their superiors the important information they discovered. And those paparazzi rushed to the shore of Dressrosa, took out their cameras, and took crazy pictures of Daughter Island, which landed next to Dressrosa. Daughter Island is a small island like Medicine Garden Island and Dressrosa. The city is located in the center of the island, and the outskirts are primeval jungles. From the outside, the island looks like an ordinary small uninhabited island. But this island has a very obvious feature. That is, there is a very large rocky mountain, with 9 white giant snake sculptures hovering on the top of the mountain, and 2 big red characters written on the mountain wall, named 9 Snakes. Ordinary people will only find it very strange when they see the word 9 snakes. But the paparazzi and eyeliners felt familiar for a while. When they remembered why the word 9 snakes was so familiar and what it meant, their hearts were immediately shocked, so there was the scene just now. For hundreds of years, they have been staying in the windless zone. Generally, only when the Queen is on an expedition, will they appear in the 9 snake pirates of the Grand Line, and the Amazon Lily Kingdom, to which the 9 snake pirates belong. And the legendary island of fantasy, Daughter Island, which is as famous as the Fishmen Island, was actually brought back to the New World by the walking natural disaster, Cross Khan. This is definitely a big news that shocked the New World. Soon, this news caused a sensation in the New World, and even the whole world. The next day, a piece of news from Shijingbao caused a sensation all over the world, setting off turbulent waves on the sea. The headline of this news read in bold, Pirate Empress, Ruler of 9 Snakes. On the cover of the headline, there are 2 photos. The first is Hancock wearing a white cheongsam emblazoned with the red Hydra logo. And the second one has the reward frame removed, leaving only the photo, wearing a black and white maid outfit, with blue and white arcs swirling all over her body. Her beautiful cheeks and dark blue eyes are full of disdain and arrogance. Hancock. Next to these 2 photos, Morgans used a lot of words to popularize the existence of 9 snakes to the world. Cross Khan, who brought 9 snakes back to the New World, and even the Cross family, what an improvement. After reading the people from all over the world on the headlines of today's Shijingbao, I was suddenly stunned. It turns out that 9 snakes is a country and a nation, and it is also the abbreviation of a pirate group. Its real name is Amazon Lily Kingdom. After learning that the 9 snakes are the Daughter Island, men all over the world are full of envy and hatred towards Cross Khan. Mastering the legendary Daughter Island, wouldn't this guy who had the world's most beautiful woman as a maid become the only male and the only male king of Daughter Island? Where is this son of the world, a winner in life? It is different from people from all over the world who have little knowledge and are very superficial. All the forces in the front and rear half of the Grand Line felt extremely heavy after seeing today's news. Especially New World, this time even the 3 overlords really can't do anything to Khan. As for the rest of the major forces that are second only to the 3 overlords, they seem to see a mountain, which fell in front of them out of thin air, only a few circles smaller than the 3 mountains in front, completely blocking their way forward. It never occurred to them. Maid of Thunder, Boa Hancock is actually the Empress of 9 Snakes. In other words, she is the candidate for the Empress of 9 Snakes. The reason why there is no news at all in the past 3 years is because she went back to Daughter Island and accepted the test of becoming an Empress. And now, she has successfully become the new Empress of 9 Snakes, and immediately led her Amazon Lily Kingdom, and 9 Snake Pirates, and became a subsidiary of the Cross family. Calendar. To be precise, this is not considered a subsidiary force, but the main force of the Cross family. Because Boa Hancock, she is Cross Khan's maid, did not break away from Cross family. After the merger of 9 Snakes, the Cross family originally relied on the strongest Gemini of Cross Khan and Boa Hancock, as well as the world's best-selling drug business, to become a first-class power. Instead, it is a label worthy of the name. 9 Snake Pirates, all members hockey. The Empress is the owner of Conqueror's Hockey. And the Amazon Lily Kingdom, on the legendary Daughter Island, is like the closed-door Wanokuni, a world-recognized hockey power. This is the common sense that the Empresses of the 9 Snake clan have built their reputation for hundreds of years, and it has been known by all parties. It is also the prestige accumulated by successive Empresses that made Boa Hancock in the original book have few records, but was still invited by the world government to become 7 warlords of the sea. Even Sengoku didn't dare to underestimate this woman. Boa Hancock can become the queen of 9 Snakes, that is to say, she must also be the owner of Conqueror's Hockey. Thinking of the number 1 beauty in the world who ruled a powerful hockey country, and the legendary Logia Thunder Fruit ability user, the leaders of the major forces, like people from all over the world, were full of envy and hatred for Khan. Possessing Conqueror's Hockey, eating Logia Thunder Fruit, and ruling a hockey powerhouse, having such top talent, top ability, and top influence, Hancock will immediately become second only to Hancock even in the New World, one of the big figures of the 3 overlords. The future is also one of the strongest contenders for maritime supremacy. It is no exaggeration to say that the current Hancock is fully qualified to have an equal dialogue with Cross Khan, and even the hundreds of years of experience left by the previous Empress, she does not need to look at Cross Khan's face. If they had such conditions and advantages, they would have already kicked Cross Khan away and established themselves. And what about Boa Hancock? After she became an empress, she actually led the entire Amazon Lily Kingdom, and 9 snake pirates, into the Cross family, and not in the way of becoming an affiliated force and an affiliated pirate group. This means that Amazon Lily Kingdom, and 9 snake pirates, have since been labeled as Cross family, and become members of the Cross family. There is one more master above the king. This choice of Boa Hancock is simply ruining the glory of Amazon Lily Kingdom, and 9 snake pirates for hundreds of years. Or in other words, she turned all the empresses of the past generations, as well as the heritage of Daughter Island for hundreds of years, into the nourishment for Cross Khan and the Cross family to become the overlord of the sea. What is this woman thinking? Could it be that she is the legendary Love Brain? And Cross Khan, who the hell is this guy, who can actually train the most beautiful woman in the world to look like this? When the whole world is envious, jealous and hated, and there is extreme jealousy and fear. Marine also updated the photo in amount of a certain reward order. Morgans, who got this new version of the reward order, also published it on the headline of Shijingbao the next day. The title is also very simple: One Piece Empress, Boa Hancock, offering a reward of 1.5 billion Baileys, the most beautiful woman in the world. There is only one cover on Toutiao, and that is Hancock's new reward order. In the photo, Khan and his gang came to Dressrosa from Daughter Island. The paparazzi secretly took pictures of Hancock wearing a white cheongsam with the Hydra logo on it. The title has also changed from Maid of Thunder to One Piece in the original book. And the bounty has skyrocketed from 592 million Baileys to an integer of 1.5 billion. The jump of nearly 1 billion shows how much Naval Headquarters attaches importance to Hancock. They've all realized that Hancock isn't like the monster's second in command. Her potential, her threat, is almost on the same level as Khan. Just like Silver Rayleigh in the previous era, she is the second in command with the potential to become a sea hegemon. In fact, this bounty jump is actually still low. The original book was deprived of the title of 7 Warlords of the Sea, and Hancock's bounty rose directly from 80 million Baileys to 1.659 billion Baileys, achieving a terrifying jump of 1.5 billion. And the current Hancock is definitely stronger than the 31-year-old self in the original book. 1.5 billion Baileys are not worthy of her strength. 1.555 billion Pele is also not worthy of Khan's current strength. But Khan, who has mastered Daughter Island, has not updated the bounty this time. This pair of the strongest twin stars now needs a record to make Marine re-evaluate their strength and threat Kulu. Is that the legendary Daughter's Island? I really want to go in and see it. If you want to die, go ahead. I'm afraid that before you get close, you will be shot to death by a long-distance arrow from a long-distance shot by the 9-snake warrior who controls hockey. I heard that there is a ban on Daughter Island that men are not allowed to enter, and I don't know if Cross Khan will lift this ban after becoming the owner of Daughter Island, so that we can see the Amazon Lily Kingdom in the jungle. It is said that after Khan and his group came from Daughter Island, they went to communicate with King Liku, planning to use Daughter Island as the main body to build a bridge connecting Dressrosa, Morlaix Island and Medicine Garden Island. After the bridge is built, maybe this ban will really be lifted. Island of Dreams, which is as famous as the Fishmen Island, and even Daughter Island, which is more difficult to enter than the Fishmen Island, is really exciting. As Hancock once again became famous in the world after 3 years, the bounty offered by Ren 87 has skyrocketed to 1.5 billion Baileys. The number of tourists in Dressrosa will increase significantly in the next period of time. These people came here especially for the name, and they came to Dressrosa especially to watch the legendary Daughter Island from a distance. Because the 3 islands ruled by the Cross family do not accept outsiders to enter. The only people who can enter Morlaix are nationals registered in Dressrosa. They are miners who have been trained by the state and specialize in mining for the Cross family. The staff in the base are technicians sent by Capone Beeg from West Blue on Umit's transport ship to help the Cross family produce weapons. As for Medicine Garden Island, only the little people can enter. The current Yaoyuan Island is already the second home of the little people. These 2 islands are located in the north-south direction of Daughter Island respectively, both in the perception of Khan and Hancock, and even Sonia's only file. All those who try to approach these 3 islands were either attacked by Hydra warriors or Hancock's divine judgment. Even if he escapes the attacks of Hydra and Hancock, Khan will use telekinesis to restrain the outsider, then eliminate the air barrier, and throw the outsider at the speed of a bullet. If you are in a bad mood, just let them be buried in the sea. Therefore, unless first-rate powerhouses or super powerhouses forcibly break into these 3 islands, no one without Khan's permission will be able to enter these 3 islands. After moving Daughter Island back to New World and discussing with King Liku about building the bridge, Khan and his group brought Scarlet, Violet, and Mansheli brought back by Robin to visit the legendary Daughter Island. After they finished their tour and came to the palace, Khan, whose family had already grown into a family, also had a showdown with Scarlet. He wanted Dressrosa to be the second subsidiary force of the Cross family after the Capone family. Yes, in the past 3 years, Khan has given up on the idea of making Scarlet, Violet, and Mansheli family members. In the future Cross family, there will only be Khan and his personal maid group, and there will be no other members. If you join a family member who is not a maid, then the status of the other party is obviously higher than that of Hancock's daughters. So if you want to become a member of the Cross family, you must become Khan's maid. But it would be an insult to Scarlet, Violet, and even Mansheli to let a 19-year-old princess who had already established her 3 views be her maid. Because they are different from the Robin girls. Robin, the 3 Boya sisters, and Koala, were pulled back to the light by Khan at the darkest time of life, and willingly became Khan's maid. Therefore, Khan dismissed the idea of making them maids, and wanted to make them queens of the country, and then bring their own country to become a subsidiary force of the Cross family. Scarlet's answer will also determine whether Khan will give her the sweet fruit of human relations. If Scarlet refuses, then Khan will not turn his face, but will continue to cooperate with Dressrosa, and his attitude towards them will not change, but he will not give her the incomparably precious Paramecia sweet fruit. If Scarlet agrees, it means that in her heart, her affection for Khan has surpassed the country. In this way, Yane can safely give her the sweet fruit of Paramecia. However, in the face of Khan's showdown, Scarlet's performance was very surprising. Okay. Without any hesitation or entanglement, she readily agreed to Khan's solicitation. Not only her, but Violet as well. Khan, who has a natural observation hockey, immediately understood why Scarlet was so calm and straightforward. It turned out that King Liku had already guessed that this day would come, and informed Scarlet and Violet in advance. The world is not good for no reason. After Khan came to New World, he directly parachuted into Dressrosa, and brought huge benefits and protection to Dressrosa, who was at the bottom of the franchise country. Let the poor Dressrosa, after paying the heavenly gold, finally no longer be poor, and the citizens will not be harassed by pirates. In the past 3 years, King Liku had already guessed Khan's purpose. He came for the little people next to Dressrosa, and also for Violet's Paramecia goggle fruit, and even for Dressrosa. In this regard, King Liku did not feel the anger of the stolen country, but he was relieved. He wasn't afraid that Khan would follow Violet, but he was afraid that Khan didn't care about Violet and Scarlet, and was going to treat the entire Dressrosa as his own tool, and throw it away, or even destroy it after use. As long as Khan values Violet, then Scarlet, who is Violet's sister, or after Violet becomes queen, Dressrosa will still be under the protection of the Cross family. After he dies, the safety of the 2 sisters, Scarlet and Violet, as well as the citizens will be guaranteed. Therefore, King Liku made preparations for Dressrosa to become a subsidiary force of the Cross family, very early on, and also vaccinated the 2 sisters Scarlet and Violet in advance. The 2 sisters, who are already full of affection for Khan, don't mind at all that the country will become a subsidiary force of Khan in the future, or even withdraw from the franchise country of world government and merge into the Cross family. Not only that, but Skalai felt extremely happy. After becoming a subsidiary force of the Cross family, she is no longer an outsider of the Cross family, but has the same status as the daughters of Robin. After Khan's group left, she also had an excuse to follow. After understanding everything by reading people's hearts, Yen also smiled happily. So, he took out the Paramecia sweet fruit that he had obtained 3 years ago and gave it to Scarlet. When Scarlet bit off a piece of pulp, she chewed it up with a purple face and swallowed it. A new generation of Paramecia sweet fruit ability users was born at this moment. At the same time, Scarlet's body has also undergone very obvious changes. If the ability of Paramecia slippery fruit is to make the appearance of the host undergo shocking changes, and the skin becomes extremely smooth, then Paramecia sweet fruit is to make the host's temperament undergo a shocking change, and the appearance is only slightly changed. Scarlet's height grew to 1.75 meters 2 years ago, and then she was finalized. Moreover, her figure is just the golden ratio of this height. It is completely incomparable with the J levels of Mary, Robin, and Hancock, whose minimum is 1.83 meters and the highest is 1.95 meters. After eating Paramecia sweet fruit, the most proud part of Scarlet's woman has not become bigger, but she has a golden ratio figure, but she has become more perfect. In addition, the beautiful cheeks that were only inferior to Hancock and at the same level as Robin, as well as the skin of the body, have also become more beautiful and smooth. But the biggest improvement is the invisible temperament. Temperament is where Scarlet has changed the most. Before eating Paramecia sweet fruit, Scarlet had a very pure temperament, and she was noble as the eldest princess of the kingdom, not as coquettish as she was when she faced Cyrus 3 years ago. Because in the past 3 years, Scarlet has started to practice, and under Robin's guidance, she has worn herself out. Now that she ate Paramecia sweet fruit, Scarlet's temperament suddenly became more diverse. Between purity and nobility, a new temperament emerges, that is, charm. And this charming temperament is like a special effect, making Scarlet's whole body seem to have pink hearts constantly emerging. Seeing Scarlet like this, no matter if it is a man or a woman, old or young, anyone with a lustful heart will feel their heart beat faster, as if the heart is about to jump out of sides of the body, and the body temperature of the whole person will become higher up. If it is a person with poor resistance, the eyes will even become the shape of a peach heart, and the nosebleed will burst out. Even Hancock and Robin, who were originally hostile to Scarlet, developed a good impression of Scarlet in their hearts, and felt that this woman suddenly became pleasing to the eye. Okay. What a terrifying ability. After Hancock reacted, he was suddenly startled into a cold sweat, and looked at Scarlet with fear in his eyes. After 3 years, Hancock felt threatened by Scarlet again. Sister Huang, you are so beautiful now. Violet looked at Scarlet with sparkling beautiful eyes, and said so. Scarlet, do you feel your superpower? Khan also asked. He was not affected by the charm. As a traverser, Khan knows that Hockey is the absolute nemesis of the Paramecia rule class. As long as Hockey is strong enough, even if he hits the ability of Paramecia rules, he can also remove the negative buffs on his body. If it is prevented in advance, the ability of Paramecia rules cannot even take effect on the target. Khan already knew how pervert the passive ability of Paramecia sweet fruit was. So he had already been on guard and resisted Scally's passive charm. Even if Scarlet casts Mero Mero Mellow on him, Khan cannot be petrified. The only thing that Khan had to use Hockey to defend was Scarlet's petrified attack. Otherwise, the place being attacked will not only be petrified, but also fragmented. This kind of fragmentation damage will not return to its original state as the petrification disappears. Therefore, once it hits a fatal place, Paramecia sweet fruit's petrification attack is an instant death skill. This is also the most unsolvable part of Paramecia sweet fruit. This ability alone makes Paramecia sweet fruit one of the top-level abilities of all Paramecia rules. If it weren't for the fact that the damage range of this ability is too small, the devil fruit with the highest degree of compatibility with Hancock is indeed Paramecia sweet fruit. Aha! Scarlet, who had already thrown away the remaining pulp, nodded repeatedly, her beautiful cheeks showed excitement and said, I can feel it, this superpower is very powerful. So can you use that superpower now? Khan continued to ask. The strong eat the devil fruit, and immediately use the ability of the devil fruit. If you have the physical strength of a monster, even if you just ate the devil fruit, you can immediately exert the maximum power of the devil fruit. Like Blackbeard and Charlotte Linlin, and Khan himself. After the former captures the Paramecia shock fruit, it can immediately create a world-shaking earthquake. Charlotte Linlin quickly developed Paramecia soul fruit to a level where even nuns are far inferior. Not to mention Khan, it can become a full body just after eating it. Unlike the strong and monsters, after the weak eat devil fruit, they need to develop the ability of devil fruit step by step. If it is a devil fruit that consumes a lot of physical energy, it needs the ability user to grow to a certain level before they can use the fruit ability. For example, Trafalgar Law's Paramecia op fruit requires huge physical strength. So Luo, who just ate Paramecia op fruit, couldn't use the ability of op fruit at all, so he couldn't save Corazon. Okay. I can use it now. Scarlet nodded again, then raised her right hand, raised her middle index finger, and blew a kiss to Khan. Immediately, a magical picture appeared. I saw Scarlet's index finger, when it left the red lips, actually pulled out a small, pink heart substance, just floating above the fingertips. Shish. Then Scarlet made a gesture of shooting at Khan, and the pink peach heart shot out like a bullet, making a piercing sound, flying past Khan's head, and landing on a wall behind him. The peach heart bullet hit the wall without making a hole or leaving a bullet hole like a gunpowder bullet. Instead, it made a dull sound like a hammer hitting. A few fissures surfaced where the gun hit. This move of gun kiss is impressively blunt. In fact, this move is not only a bludgeoning effect. If a person with lust is hit, He can even be directly petrified by the gun kiss just like Slave Arrow. Any other uses? Khan smiled and said, "You don't need to avoid me, just attack me." "I see." Scarlet nodded, then raised his hands, showing Khan a heart. Then a series of pink hearts formed by light waves suddenly released from Scarlet's hands, drowning Khan in front of her. In the next second, the faces of Robin and the girls suddenly changed. "Scarlet, what did you do to Master?" Hancock stood up angrily, his body surrounded by blue and white lightning. The Master in front of them turned into a gray-white stone statue. I didn't do it on purpose, I will find a way to untie it now." Scarlet also seemed a little flustered, she wanted to feel the superpower in her body, and see how to remove the petrification effect. Zzz, before Scarlet could move, blue arcs suddenly emanated from the stone statue. In the next second, Khan, who had turned into a gray-white stone statue, immediately returned to his original appearance. The speed was so fast, it seemed that the stone statue just now was just an illusion. Is this the ability of the rule class? Khan, who had regained control of his body, clenched his fists and exclaimed, "Even I can be petrified, what a powerful ability." Khan purposely didn't use Haki to defend, just wanted to see if Paramecia Sweet Fruit's Mero Mero Mellow would have an effect on himself, who was a natural destroyer and phantom beast ability user with amazing resistance. Unexpectedly, Khan was powerless in front of Mero Mero Mellow and was instantly petrified. Khan, petrified, feels very strange. His body control and 5 senses have been deprived, but Khan's natural observation Haki and telekinetic fusion of unique perception can still perceive the outside world, eavesdrop on outside conversations, and even use telekinetics to control external objects. Then just by consuming some Haki, N broke through the petrified seal. Although it was easy to break through the petrification seal, Khan did not dare to underestimate this petrification. Because he can ignore petrochemicals, it is because he has the natural vision of Haki, the telekinetic power of Panacea, and the powerful Haki. The first 2 abilities are either possessed by the Chosen Ones, or possessed by the Devil Fruit with the power of mind. For the latter, it is necessary to have a strong Haki capacity. Those with powerful Haki are all strong enough to survive in the New World. After Scarlet reaches the level of a New World monster, the person who can ignore and break through her petrification must be a super strong person with the peak of mind, skill and body. Even now, if the opponent is not a New World monster like Doflamingo and Gilder Tetsolo in the original book, a person with a lustful heart will not be able to break Scarlet's petrified seal. This ability is useless against the real strong 1-on-1. If it is 2-on-1, once the strong is attacked and petrified, unless he can break through the petrification seal immediately, it means death. But for the strong and weak below New World monsters, this ability is unsolvable. "Master, you scared us to death." "That's right, Master, can you stop being so reckless? What if Scarlet can't turn the stone statue back?" Looking at the amazed Khan, Luo Baoji began to criticize him. Even Scarlet herself looked at Khan with resentment, blaming him for scaring her. If he hadn't broken free quickly, or she had been slower to undo the petrification, the irritable Hancock might not have been able to resist. Sorry, I won't be like this in the future." Khan, who has a natural observation Haki, knows that he has really provoked public anger this time, so he rarely put down his machismo and apologized to Robin and his daughters. Next, Khan comforted Scarlet again, then got up and led the girls out of the palace. In the jungle behind the palace, Khan let Scarlet continue to use the ability of Paramecia Sweet Fruit, and guided her to develop various tricks according to the usage of the original Hancock, and even crowned her tricks with the name of the original book. The vase of the original work has changed its fate at this moment, and is about to bloom her beauty to the world. Time came to the middle of September. A headline in Shijingbao has attracted a lot of attention from all over the world. The content of this news is that the king of a joined country abdicated, and his 19-year-old daughter inherited the throne and became the queen of the country. In this world where strength is paramount, there is no patriarchal concept. As long as she is strong and capable enough, even a woman can become a king. The most typical example is the pirate queen, Big Mom, Charlotte Linlin, who rules the Toto Land Kingdom, formed by 35 islands. She is recognized as the strongest woman in the world and one of the big bullies in King's Landing New World. In addition to this pirate queen, there is also the pirate queen who rules the 9 snakes. For example, in the countries where women are kings, among the more than 170 franchise countries, there are as many as double digits. If you count the non-joint countries, then there are more countries where women are kings. Therefore, the news that a certain franchise country was replaced by a daughter inheriting the throne is not big news at all. Unless that joined country is Alabasta, one of the 50 powerful countries that never miss World Summit every time, and one of the few superpowers. If Vivi succeeds Cobra's throne in the future, it will definitely be a big news that will cause a sensation in the world. Because Alabasta is a superpower with a population of tens of millions, can a young queen without any strength really be able to govern such a superpower? However, the joining countries mentioned in the news are not superpowers like Alabasta, and they are not even qualified to participate in the World Summit. They are only small countries at the bottom. It is the renewal of such a small country that has attracted considerable attention around the world. The reason is that the country is called Dressrosa, and the new queen is a peerless beauty. In terms of beauty, because she ate the paramecia sweet fruit, she looks no less than the peerless beauty of the pirate queen. For Dressrosa, the people of the world may feel both strange and familiar, as if they have heard it somewhere. But the forces of all parties are very familiar with this name. Because this country is one of the lucky ones of the New World. I don't know what kind of shit luck this small country, which only belongs to the bottom among the more than 170 franchised countries, has just happened to be selected by Cross Khan, who entered the New World, as the Cross family. It is a temporary base camp, and has reached a long-term cooperation with this country, employing nationals of this country to help him mine and work, and also sheltering this country for a long time. In the past, the forces of all parties were still very puzzled as to why Cross Khan was so good to this country. After reading today's news, everyone suddenly realized. It turns out that the queen of this country, the former eldest princess, is a peerless beauty whose beauty is not inferior to that of the most beautiful woman in the world. At the same time, everyone seems to have guessed Khan's hobby. It turns out that the weakness of this walking natural disaster is beautiful women. For a woman, she actually sheltered a country for 3 years without using any violence, and paid a lot of time and money. This is too patient. At this moment, the minds of all the various forces who had placed eyeliners or went undercover to Dressrosa had a flash of inspiration. Then some forces recalled Dressrosa's eyeliner and undercover agent one after another, preparing to send new eyeliner and undercover agent there. Inside, there is world government. To be precise, it is one of the 3 major organizations under the world government, and it is responsible for the CP organization that keeps an eye on the children of the devil. Just when the forces of all parties started to act, Khan's side also acted. The family has been settled for 3 years. After the Boya 3 sisters returned with their daughter Island, Khan felt that it was time for the whole world to know the name of the Cross family. Although the whole world has known the Cross family for a long time, Khan feels that it is not enough, and the world's impression of the Cross family is not deep enough. So, after giving paramecia sweet fruit to Scarlet and helping her develop the tricks mastered by Hancock in the original book, Khan transformed into a 150-meter-long dragon, flew away from Daughter Island, and began to search for suitable characters in New World. Small uninhabited island when moving islands. It was also when Khan was looking for an uninhabited island, Scarlet explained everything to King Riku. King Riku, who has read Devil Fruit illustrated book, saw that Khan actually gave his eldest daughter the incomparably precious paramecia sweet fruit, and understood that Khan not only valued his second daughter Violet, but also his eldest daughter. King Riku immediately chose to abdicate and let Scarlet become queen of Dressrosa. Next, regardless of whether Khan withdraws Scarlet from the membership of the world government, or reforms Dressrosa, as long as it does not harm the national treasurer, he will support their decision. Khan only found out about this after reading the news, but he didn't expect King Riku to be so courageous and decisive. Sure enough, those who can become emperors have a few brushes. When the time came to late September, Khan flew all over the small half of the New World, alarming a large number of islands and forces with people, and finally found a small uninhabited island with no volcanoes, but with primitive jungles and lakes. Then he lifted up the small island with telekinetic power. Khan spent a few more days, and finally rushed back to Daughter Island. The small uninhabited island was placed on the west side of Daughter Island, and a cross-shaped archipelago suddenly appeared in this sea area. Taking the legendary Daughter Island as the main body, the east is Dressrosa, one of the franchise countries, the south is the Isle of Morlaix with the superstar mine and arms production base, the west is the uninhabited island of primitive jungle, and the north is the medicine garden like a paradise island. This archipelago will definitely make this sea area a famous existence in the New World and even the whole world in the future. After Khan becomes the overlord of the sea, those companies that specialize in publishing maps may, like the Toto Land Kingdom, call this sea area ruled by the Cross family, the Cross Sea Area. After placing the small uninhabited island on the west side of Daughter Island, Khan returned to the palace of Daughter Island, took a simple shower under the service of several maids in Hancock, and after eating the delicious food prepared by the palace chef, began to treat the small uninhabited island has been transformed. The first is to unleash Conqueror's Haki, which stuns all zones on the island. Then he released his mental power with all his strength and uprooted all the trees in the primeval forest. After doing this, Khan asked the soldiers and guards of Daughter Island to clean up the animals on the island, bring back the edible ones to eat, bring back the ones that can be raised, and kill the animals that cannot be eaten or raised on the spot. Kill. While the soldiers and guards were cleaning up the animals on Sky Island, Khan made several phone calls in a row, making deals with some companies in the dark world that specialized in paper and wood sales. This time Khan is the seller and the person on the other side is the buyer. After negotiating the price, Khan asked the other party to hire Umit's transport ship to transport all the trees on the island. By the time the small uninhabited island turned into a devastated desert island, the time had come to mid-October in 1506 in the Sea Circle calendar. During this time, Khan also hired a top-level design team to read their memories with the natural observation Haki. After stealthily learning painting skills, he used entry-level painting skills to simply draw his inspiration, and then let designers turn their aura into design drawings. After the design drawing is finished, N is ready to transform the deserted island. The world's #1 entertainment city in the future is about to start construction. Yes, Khan is going to start building an island ship similar to the original, Guren Tezzolo. He didn't wait until he recruited Nami to start building the island ship. Because building an island ship and a city is a huge project. The Gulen Taizuolo in the original book is a golden boat with a length of 10,000 meters or 10 kilometers. Khan is going to tear down the uninhabited island and build 3 island ships. A gold edition, mostly kept in New World. Although Nami has not yet been recruited, Hancock's electric heater can also melt gold. The other 2 are regular versions, which are put into the first half of the Grand Line and West Blue respectively to help the Cross family make money. After cleaning up all the animals and trees, and turning a pristine uninhabited island into a deserted island full of scars, Khan asked the design team to draw up the design, and then called the head of the black market in the capital of 7 waters, and trust the other party to help me find the phone numbers of the bosses of the 7 shipbuilding companies in the capital of 7 waters. And forgot to leave the number when the Grandine was remodeled in the capital of 7 waters last time. After receiving a call from Khan, the person in charge of the black market in the capital of 7 waters, was happy to help him with this task, even without commission fees. After getting the phone number, Khan immediately contacted 7 shipbuilding companies, hired their best shipbuilder team, and came to the New World from the first half of the Grand Line. Hearing that Khan wanted to transform the island into an island ship, the 7 shipbuilding companies immediately understood that this was a big business, so they didn't refuse, and immediately sent their fleet to the Red Line with a team of shipbuilders, preparing to pass through Marie Joy's Enter the New World. In fact, there are many shipbuilding companies in New World, but Khan believes more in the reputation and capabilities of the shipbuilding mecca. At the same time, Cross Khan's operations during this period also attracted the attention of various forces in the New World, including the 3 monsters. After all, Khan is too noisy, and Dressrosa next to Daughter Island is the only island in the Cross Islands that allows outsiders to enter. Moreover, this island is already full of eyeliners and undercover agents from various forces. With Khan too lazy to deal with them, it's hard not to be noticed by the big guys when he makes a big splash. After some investigation, all parties knew that the reason why Khan made such a big noise was because he wanted to build a mobile island ship. So, those big pirates who found out that the Cross family was not planning to expand their territory and attack them like killing the Strong Fist pirates, breathed a sigh of relief. The pirate alliance that had gathered together to fight against the Cross family also disbanded one after another, returning to their own territory to do their own business. There was only one guy who finally couldn't bear the loneliness and couldn't help testing Khan. And this person is one of the 3 overlords of the New World, and the younger brother of Whitebeard and Charlotte Linlin. He killed Kazuki Oden a few years ago, secretly controlled Wanokuni, and quickly caught up with his old man by selling cold weapons and minerals. Big brother and big sister's 100 beasts, Kaido. Our arms and medicines have been robbed. Khan, who was busy building the world's #1 entertainment city, looked at Luo Wu who was reporting to him with a look of surprise. Could it be that his achievements in the past few years can't scare those idiots? When his eyes met Robin's and saw through the movement of people's hearts, Khan frowned slightly. Yes, Umit called and said that the transport ships responsible for transporting arms and medicines were robbed by pirate ships flying the flag of Beast's pirates, but they only took away the arms and medicines on board. But they didn't snatch the transport ship, nor did they rob other things on the ship. It was obviously aimed at us deliberately. Robin nodded slightly, and also frowned slightly. Umit has already compensated us for the loss this time, but he has also temporarily stopped cooperating with us. Both Khan and Robin understood the pause. It's not so much a timeout, it's better to say that Umit is scared. Beast's pirates only rob arms and medicines, turning a blind eye to the transport ship and the people on board, which is the warning Kaido gave Umit. Next is the matter of Beast's pirates, and, Cross family. You, an outsider, should not get involved, otherwise it will not be a warning next time. Therefore, Umit immediately spent money to eliminate the disaster, compensated Khan for all the losses of this trip, and told Khan by suspending cooperation. If you want him to help with the transportation, you must remove the troubles caused by Beast's pirates, otherwise he will be robbed every time he transports. Umit not only needs to compensate Khan for the loss, but also offends the Sea Overlord. Khan didn't care about Umit's suspension of cooperation. The reason why he frowned was because he was wondering what the hell Kaido was going crazy. If Khan traveled to the world of pirates not long after the beginning of the Wano Kuni chapter, then his impression of Kaido is that he is an immortal lunatic. But in the time period that Khan traveled, not only the Wano Kuni chapter ended, but even the final chapter had already begun. Therefore, Khan is very clear that Kaido is a rough-looking guy who is actually very shrewd and resourceful. Even the suicide that appeared for the first time was to frighten the alliance of the generation of evil, so as to recruit them to be his subordinates. When he was weak, he teamed up with Kurozumi Orochi and the two old guys from the Kurozumi family to deceive Kazuki Oden together. When Kazuki Oden wasted 5 years and went dancing every day, he quickly expanded his force and improved his strength. In the end, he successfully defeated Kazuki Oden and secretly controlled the entire Wano Kuni. Every step he takes has his own plan. The current Kaido has only ruled Wano Kuni for a few years. His Beast's Pirates is actually in the same stage of accumulation as the Cross family. For example, the 3 major disasters in the original book, the Flying Six Cells, the Beast Legion, and even his daughter Yamato have not yet grown up. For example, the Drought Jack among the 3 major disasters, the future Ship King, is still a 12-year-old kid. Not to mention that Run is a brother and sister, and now he is just a child of a certain age, and I don't know if he has been adopted by Kaido. The only card that Beast's Pirates can hold now is Jin, the Flame Disaster, in the future 3 major disasters, whose real name is Bell. And the Plague. Quinn, who was a colleague of Vegapunk, Vince Mo K. Judge, Guy Saw Kalang and others. They are Kaido's right and left hands. If it weren't for them, Beast's Pirates would only have Kaido alone, and they would not be qualified to be one of the Overlord pirates. Thinking of this, Khan couldn't help asking Robin, who led the team that robbed the transport ship. It is the Flame Calamity, Ember, Robin Kaido. Is there actually a big billboard? Is this a test, or a signal of provocation? Khan raised his eyebrows, and suddenly looked up at Sky's path. Hancock, you take the 9 snake pirates, and Violet out, and say hello to them too. How do they greet us? How do you respond to them? I see, Master. On the training ground behind the palace, Hawkeye, who was instructing Scarlet Hydra, and Hancock, who was in the 6th form, immediately nodded to the sky and responded. A week later. The inner sea of Wano Kuni, the island of ghosts. Brother Kaido, our weapons and sea stone were also stolen. On this day, Jin, who was 6.13 meters tall, came to Kaido, who had just beaten his daughter and was sitting on his exclusive throne, drinking a wine gourd, and said, "Ooh. Are those guys okay?" Hearing Jin's words, Kaido didn't show the moodiness that outsiders thought, nor was he surprised at all, but let out a unique laugh, and after caring about the escort weapons and Seastone's men, he asked, "Who is that on the other side? Lead the team." "They're fine. The leader is Pirate Empress Boa Hancock," Jin said in a deep voice. Kaido. "It really is that woman." The drunken Kaido grinned with a flushed face and said, "The greeting has already been made, and the next thing is our game." "Boss Kaido, what is your purpose in doing this?" Jin's tone seemed a bit puzzled. If he looked through the black helmet, he could still see that handsome face full of puzzlement. "Are we going to war with the Cross family? Now we are fighting with the Cross family. The Ross family is in a stage of rapid development. If there is a sudden war at this time, will it be picked up by the Whitebeard pirates and Toto Land Kingdom? Oh lol war is certain, but whether there will be a full-scale war depends on whether that brat Khan and his woman are strong enough. He was obviously drunk, but Kaido's performance at this time was calm and scary, showing a ferocious smile at the same time full of appreciation. The rise of that kid Khan is too amazing, and he has only entered New World for more than 3 years, that's all. 5 islands have been indirectly and directly occupied. Obviously a countryman from West Blue, but he has a very thorough view of the situation in New World. Every step has his own calculations. First, take the super powerful Omar's Isle of Morelai with a strong fight. Stand firm and become one of the great pirates of the New World. After snatching the island of Morlaix, which has a huge amount of minerals, they directly mobilized the hidden forces in West Blue, hired the citizens of Dressrosa, mined the mines to manufacture weapons, and then did not sell them nearby, but shipped them to West Blue for sale. What we didn't expect was that there was actually a maid beside him who ate Logia Thunder Fruit, and she was also a candidate for the Empress of 9 Snakes. Relying on Saboti Archipelago's record, he has kept a low profile undisturbed for the past 3 years and managed to hide it from the whole world. After getting Daughter's Island similar to Wano-kuni and the 9 Snake Pirates, he now has strength, troops, and even the most profitable outlet. If this kid is allowed to develop for a few more years, there will be a 4th sea overlord in the world. At that time, this brat was not easy to deal with. After a slight pause, Kaido continued with a look of apprehension. If it was 1500 years ago in the Sea Circle calendar, the kid Khan would have had such a size, the woman Linlin would definitely not let the kid continue to grow, and that guy Whitebeard would not. You can't take advantage of the fire and take action against your former companions. So, Linlin, who also has the physique of a natural destroyer, is well aware of the strength and potential of this physique, but has already entered an advanced age. He will definitely not sit back and watch that his peak is not there, but the same kind has just entered the peak period. But now, with the rise of Lousy, the woman Linlin and the guy Whitebeard can only sit back and watch, while the brat Khan grows stronger. These 2 cowards dare not do it, only us who are in the Wano-kuni Inland Sea and have natural environmental protection do it. Certainly. The tone paused again, and Kaido grinned and said, with the abilities of Khan and that Empress, if we fight against them, even if we win, we won't be able to kill them. Song Quank will suffer from offending others. As long as the combination of the strongest Gemini is still there, even if we wipe out Daughter Island, they will return to their current position from 0 very quickly, and they will not even develop and just stare at us. Not a big loss. It was because of the abilities of these 2 guys, and the threat of me and Whitebeard, that Linlin was still afraid to act. Similarly, if there are not enough benefits, Lousy doesn't want to lose his military and financial resources in vain to help those 2 guys deal with the younger generation, instead of them offending the future monsters. Hearing this, Jin asked, that is to say, Brother Kaido, you chose to attack the Cross family, because of the interests in Cross Khan that make you so excited that you can't help but do it. That's right, that kid has the talents and channels we need. Kaido nodded, took another swig of wine, and said slowly, because of the reason we killed Kazuki Oden, that guy Whitebeard dare not, is not sure, and has no reason to take his sons through the dangerous sea area, come here to avenge a former companion. But it's easy for them to target us. Just like we warned, Umit, Whitebeard only needs 1 word, those guys in Umit will not dare to cooperate with us. The high-quality cold weapons we produce, as well as seastone, can't be transported to the waters outside New World at all, they can only be sold in New World, and the largest real estate has a world political plaque. Like other war-torn countries, most of them use cheap cold weapons. Even if they buy them, they will only buy powerful hot weapons. When there is only one biggest buyer and no one is competing with him, we sellers will be very passive. We can only make a small profit in terms of price, and we cannot maximize our profits at all. While Khan that brat, Kaido enviously said, he ruled the West Blue, and he has the strength of a monster to enter the Grand Line. And on the day he entered the Grand Line, he deliberately broke the news to the newspaper, announcing that he would enter the Grand Line, so that those places where the Cross family had planted their flags could take off their flags, successfully shaping the years of hard work to abandon West Blue, the illusion of starting from scratch at the Grand Line. After he gained a firm foothold in the New World, he killed the celestial dragons in the Saboti archipelago. He successively demonstrated the strategic deterrence of destroying islands. He was not afraid of Marine Admiral's single body strength. He was also the deputy of the Logia Thunderfruit capable person. Leap to become the existence second only to us. In the end, he used his only drug business, and after successfully clearing up with the helpless 5 elders, he stopped hiding West Blue's power. If it weren't for that kid Khan no longer hiding, Who would have thought that West Blue's biggest gangster turned out to be his first affiliated force? With his worldwide reputation and the privilege of working with the world government, West Blue is now the biggest channel for the Cross family. Besides West Blue, that kid Khan even has someone in North Blue. The Joker, the intermediary in the dark world of North Blue, is a rare talent, and it is also the reason why Lousy couldn't help but do it. Speaking of this, Kaido said with burning eyes, as long as we have the help of that Joker, our weapons will no longer be limited to the New World, and the biggest buyer will no longer be the world government. Jin suddenly said, that is to say, our battle is to fight for the ownership of Joker? You can say it this way. Kaido nodded and said, that Joker has now been tagged as Khan. To get his help, we have to get permission from that brat Khan. If you use force to force Joker to work for us, or use greater benefits to lure the other party, even if that guy agrees to betray Khan, he may be dead in the sea within a few days. For Khan, who has the biggest channel of West Blue, losing a North Blue talent is not painful at all. But if we take the initiative to cooperate with that kid Khan, we will not only be inferior, but also need to give up part of the benefits. When that kid Khan grows to our level, he will become very passive. So, only by going to war can we maximize our interests, allow us to have the initiative, and even obtain greater interests. I see. Hearing the last sentence, Yan completely understood what Kaido was thinking. Kaido's calculations are simple. That is to take advantage of Khan, who has not yet reached their level and belongs to the stage of bullying, to fight against him and defeat him. Then, as the winner, cooperate with the Cross family, not only let Joker, the dark intermediary labeled with Khan's label, that is, Doflamingo, help them sell weapons for the Beast's pirates. He also wants to be alone in the Cross family, a share of the first-tier pharmaceutical business. Even if they lose, or even if there is no tie, Kaido can still lower his status to negotiate with Khan, give up part of the benefits, and join hands with Khan to sell weapons. Whether it is a loss or a win, in fact, Kaido only makes money. If you lose, you only need to give up part of the profits, but if you sell weapons and seastone all over the world, and let the best intermediary help them maximize their profits, Kaido can still earn more than now. If he wins, he will earn a lot of money. That's why Kaido chose to give it a go. What if we win? Of course, if wants to achieve this kind of alternative win-win, they cannot form an irresolvable hatred with Khan. Assuming Khan and his lieutenants are strong enough. If any one of Khan and his deputy is killed by them, Kaido will immediately change the plan and directly eat up Khan's 5 islands, as well as West Blue's largest channel, North Blue's talents. This is what Kaido said to Jin just now. Whether there will be an all-out war depends on whether Khan and that Empress are strong enough. If he is strong enough to make him helpless, Kaido will lower his posture and show his favor to them. If you are not strong enough, then be prepared to be swallowed by the strong. So, the next thing is the game between Kaido and Khan. Jin and Hancock are the pawns they fight against each other. However, Kaido, who told Jin about his little plan, didn't know that someone was watching the conversation between the two of them. This person is not Kaido's daughter, nor is anyone else from the 3 great disasters. The other party is not even in Onojima and Wano-kuni. And this person is Violet. Well done, Violet, in person, breaking the news to the master now. On the vast sea, after Hancock succeeds the Empress, Amazon Lily Kingdom, especially customized for the new Empress, and it is also on the deck of the perfume snake in the original 9 Snake Pirates. Keeping the OK gesture with both hands, Violet, who watched Kaido with clairvoyance, immediately told Hancock about the conversation between Kaido and Jin, as well as Kaido's little abacus. And Hancock touched Violet's head with a surprised face, and then took out the phone bug to contact Khan. Although Haki can resist Devil Fruit's abilities, even regular abilities are ineffective against Haki's powerful monsters. But the premise is that the other party must be on guard. For example, when Khan came to dress Rosa for the first time, Violet's Paramecia dangling fruit couldn't see his heart, because Khan had been on guard for a long time, and Violet's fruit ability had no effect on him. Kaido, who was still in a state of drunkenness in the Ghost Island, obviously did not have such precautions. So Violet saw everything in his heart when he spoke. When Hancock called Khan, he conveyed what Violet saw to his master verbatim. In the Daughter Island Palace, while enjoying Robin's massage, Khan, who was analyzing the purpose of Kaido's move with the smart Robin, was suddenly stunned. So that's it, that guy actually set his sights on Dover. Khan wasn't surprised or angry that Kaido shot him because he was eyeing a North Blue little guy. Instead, Khan found himself far underestimating Kaido's shrewdness and vision. This guy, as expected of a weak kid who cheated, managed to steal the existence of Wano Kuni, one of hockey's powerhouses. Just through Khan's movement track, we found West Blue's Capone family and North Blue's Don Quixote family, and saw the ability and value of Doflamingo. The reason why Khan knows that Doflamingo is a rare talent is because he is a time traveler. Kaido, on the other hand, fell in love with Doflamingo at a glance. For this reason, he is going to fight Khan. If he wins, he will take away the ownership of Doflamingo. If he loses, he will give up part of the benefits. He can still cooperate with Doflamingo. Thinking of this, Khan couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth slightly, and said to himself, "Want a win-win situation? Let's see who is the real big winner. Robin, go get Sonia to come here." "Yes, master." Due to Sonia's unique perception, it can only be possessed when using ultrasonic waves. Therefore, like Khan and Hancock, she cannot release her unique perception 24 hours a day, eavesdropping on conversations and inner voices within the range of perception. Except for Umit, who knew that Kaido started targeting Khan, no one else knew about the next game between Kaido and Khan. Because they didn't start a full-scale war, but a high-end contest. Through the clairvoyance and insight into people's hearts of Violet's paramecia, Khan knew Kaido's little abacus, and Khan took the initiative to cooperate with Kaido. I saw that after he asked Robin to call Sonia over, he didn't know what to tell Sonia, so he saw the port of Dressrosa, sailed out a large sailing ship with the flag of Cross family, and headed for the island of Morlaix one after another, and Medicine Garden Island, and headed in a certain direction. Seeing this scene, a person squatting at the port of Dressrosa immediately sent the news back to the East region. "Brother Kaido, the Cross family, has been shipped again." Jin, who received the news, immediately reported to Kaido. "There is a 50% chance that the ship is empty, and a 50% chance that the Empress should be in charge of escorting it." Kaido grinned and said to Jin, "Jin, you take Quinn with you." "I see, brother Kaido." Jin nodded, instantly understanding Kaido's meaning. The implication of Kaido's words is that if you can find a chance to kill the pirate Empress, don't let it go, and join hands with Quinn directly. And their thoughts were once again seen by Violet, and passed into Khan's ears through Hancock's phone bug. "Master, can the concubine be good to them?" On the sea more than 2,000 kilometers away from Oni Island, Hancock led her 9 snake pirates to transfer from the perfume snake to the large sailing ship. Her beautiful cheeks were full of evil spirits. In addition to being gentle and considerate in front of Khan, Hancock has always been full of arrogance and disdain for others. Now someone actually wants to kill her. How can Hancock bear it? "Of course, if you have a chance, don't show mercy," Khan slowly said. "Now that guy Kaido, when he can't mobilize Wanakuna's combat power, his beasts pirates, are not much different from ours in size, not even as good as us with female Kojima, and the top cadres are only left and right hands can help him. That guy dared to attack us because he thought he knew our information very well, and thought that there were only you and me in the family. As long as his left and right hands can suppress you, or he can suppress me, if one of us is killed, they will win a big victory, and then go to war to swallow up our territory. As everyone knows, besides you, I also have Sonia's left hand like him. As long as they kill any one of us, they will be the big winners, and similarly, as long as we kill one of them, we will be the real winners. Then it depends on your performance, Hancock." "Sonia." "Yes, master." "Don't worry, master, I won't let you down personally." Sonia and Hancock responded successively, and the latter's face was even more confident. 2 days later, a vast and endless sea. An ordinary large sailing ship with the flag of the Cross family was sailing slowly. On the deck, the 9 snake warriors surrounded Violet, who was the only outsider, and curiously asked about the sea area of New World, as well as their Empress's master, what kind of man he was. Through reading people's hearts, I have long known that these girls are Violet as innocent as children, and I am happy to chat with them to satisfy their various curiosity. The only 2 not involved were Hancock and Sonia. While they waited for their prey to come, Hancock took out his phone bug and was talking on the phone with Khan. Hancock, who has electric fields and radio waves, is not afraid that her conversation with Khan will be overheard by a very special kind of wiretapping bug. "Master, I have already sensed them. You wait at home for me to bring back the fruits of victory." At this moment, Hancock seemed to sense something, and the beautiful smile on his face that could fascinate countless men suddenly subsided, taking beautiful coldness and self-confidence. "I am looking forward to your performance, come on." Hancock didn't know that Khan, who cheered her up, had already quietly acted. As a time traveler, Khan knows that Kaido is a true pirate. He is greedy, insidious, cunning, moody, and very shrewd and resourceful. In the last era, when Golden Lion, Whitebeard, and Charlotte Linlin were all cadres of Rock's Pirate, Kaido was just an intern. In the last era, when these big brothers and big sister heads were the overlords of the New World, he was a little bit better than Bullet Douglas, who left the Luogia Pirates. If the big sister hadn't given him the form of Zone, Yu Fruit, Phantom Beast, and Blue Dragon, even if Kaido had a monster-like physique, he wouldn't be able to become one of the 3 New World monsters at this age. Even if he becomes one of the 3 monsters, Kaido's current size is not even a tiny bit behind Whitebeard and Charlotte Linlin. The top cadres he can handle now are only Jin and Quinn, the captains of the affiliated pirate group. None of them can handle them. Not to mention the strength of the troops, if he dares to go to war with the Whitebeard pirates and Charlotte Linlin, his Beasts pirates will be easily defeated by the opponent. It is also because of the pitiful number of troops that Kaido cherishes his own troops very much. When targeting Khan, they didn't even dare to directly go to war with the Cross family, who owned Daughter Island. Only after killing either Khan or Hancock will Kaido dare to go all out and occupy the fabled Daughter Island. Once Hancock is killed and he joins hands with Jin and Quinn, no matter how strong Khan is, he will surely die if he has not yet reached the Golden Age. Therefore, when Khan received a call from Hancock and learned from her what Violet had seen, Khan was very sure that Kaido would never send Jin and Quinn alone. He would definitely follow him secretly. Shaw looked for an opportunity to sneak attack Hancock. Once he finds the opportunity, Kaido will kill Hancock directly regardless of his face. Therefore, Khan did what he could and asked Hancock and Sonya to change ships, waiting for Jin and Quinn to arrive. He also quietly left Daughter Island, using the life card to come to Hancock's only perception, just unable to perceive him, but Khan just happened to be able to perceive Hancock's sea area. When Hancock hung up the phone, put down the phone bug, gave Sonya an instruction, and then released the electric field, turning into a bolt of lightning and disappearing. Sonya also turned into a huge bat. While releasing her unique perception, she followed her sister at an extremely fast speed to snipe Jin and Quinn. After the 2 women left his range of perception, Khan dialed the phone again and asked Violet, who answered the phone, to use one eye to find Kaido's location. Violet, who hadn't used clairvoyance to monitor the Ghost Island today, looked at the Ghost Island again, and her expression suddenly changed. Because she can't find Kaido in the Island of Ghosts. Even Wano-kuni, next to Oni Island, is the same. Kaido seems to disappear out of thin air. Even if Violet uses farsightedness and clairvoyance, he can't find Kaido's trace within a radius of 4,000 kilometers. Hearing this, Khan asked Violet to see the sky. As a result, Violet looked up at the sky, increasing the consumption of physical energy and increasing the intensity of perspective. After a while, Violet seemed to have seen something terrible, and said in a trembling tone, "Khan, there is a huge green dragon on the Bye-Bye Sea." "Thank you, Violet." As if hearing Violet's vibrato, before hanging up the phone, Khan comforted with a smile. "Don't be afraid, and don't make a fuss. You'll all be fine. If you're still scared, you can turn around and look behind." Hearing this, Violet subconsciously turned around to take a look. Soon, her clairvoyance was on the distant sea, and she saw a familiar blue sky dragon soaring into the sky. Seeing this scene, Violet's fear of being frightened by the green dragon dissipated instantly. It turned out that Khan had expected this scene long ago, and now he was not on Daughter's Island at all, but came to their rear, silently protecting them. It's so reliable. At this moment, Violet felt a strong sense of security, and her affection for Khan grew even stronger. After finding Kaido's location, Khan turned into a full body without any hesitation, and went to the Bye-Bye Sea at an altitude of 10,000 meters, preparing to hold back the strongest creature in the world. Khan wants to let Kaido steal the chicken without losing money. The greedy guy will pay the price of greed. Since Kaido thinks that he has fully grasped the information of the Cross family, he believes that only Khan and Hancock in the Cross family are worthy of fear, and the others are nothing to worry about. And Beasts Pirates has its own captain, and the 2 left and right hands Jin and Quinn, who have the background that even if they lose and draw, they only need to give up part of the benefits to be the winner. If you win, you will earn a lot of money, and you may even eat the cake of the entire Cross family. Then Khan cut off Kaido's left hand, or right hand, or even both hands. As long as Kaido loses any of his arms, his Beasts Pirates, which were originally a circle larger than the Cross family, will immediately shrink to the same level as the Cross family. If his 2 arms were broken, the possibility of him catching up with the other 2 monsters would take an unknown number of years, even close to 0. Khan is confident that he can cut off Kaido's arm. And the source of his self-confidence is not Hancock, but Sonia's concept-level force area that is even more unreasonable than the rules. Boom. When Khan was looking for Kaido, Hancock and Sonia had already found the sailboat where Jin and Quinn were. Both women are capable of flying, and they will not be foolishly waiting for Jin and Quinn to arrive on the boat, and then let Violet and the 9 snake warriors on the boat become their burdens. Therefore, after the only sensory perception found Jin and Quinn, Hancock and Sonia took the initiative to attack. An invisible electric field enveloped it. Before Hancock arrived, the deafening thunder sounded in the blue sky. Dazzling blue and white light and a thick electric snake appeared out of thin air above the sailboat where Jin and Quinn were on. In the blink of an eye, countless electric snakes and blue and white lights condensed to form a huge blue and white light group. The volume of this light cluster is many times larger than that produced by Enel. Such a huge light cluster, when it turned into a beam of light, fell down. Then the volume of this beam of light must also be unbelievably large. Boom! Sure enough, the huge light cluster quickly turned into a huge blue and white beam of light, and fell towards the sailboat below. The size is so large that it is almost comparable to half a large sailing ship. In this age of sail, everyone uses wooden boats. Even if the thunder pillar is less than 1/3 the size of a large sailing ship, it is enough to destroy a large sailing ship. Because lightning damage is only second, and electric heating is the most terrifying damage. When the wood is ignited, the inflammables, gunpowder, and shells in the cabin are ignited. They are the heroes who maximize the power of the lightning strike. Fire Dragon Emperor. The momentum and power of Hancock's God's Judgment are very scary. It's really like a God's Judgment. Even the strong masters of hockey in the New World will change their complexions in shock when they are within the attack range of this move of God's Judgment. However, Jin and Quinn, and even the crew of the Beast's pirates around them, did not lie. Especially the crew members are full of confidence in their own big kanban. In the next second, Jin made a move. With a height of 6.13 meters, he pulled out the giant taketamaki that was several meters long and carried it with him. Then, relying on the innate talent of the Lunaria tribe, he wrapped a flame on his body with a samurai sword, and waved a flame in the shape of an oriental dragon towards the sky. The temperature of the flame was as high as magma. The beam of light and the fire dragon collided from top to bottom. As a result, the thunder pillar failed to split the fire dragon emperor, but turned into an electric snake, and the fire dragon emperor also turned into a sky full of flames, like fuel, painting the sky in blue, white, orange and other colors. Not good, jump off the ship quickly. Blocking Hancock's God's Judgment with a single blow, Jin's face under the black helmet changed suddenly before his subordinates could cheer, and he immediately issued an order. Hearing this, Quinn and the crew members who mastered the observation hockey also seemed to have discovered something, and their expressions changed drastically. Boom! However, before they could move, the sailboat under their feet made a deafening explosion. Everyone's feet shook violently, and before they lost their balance and fell to the ground, terrifying heat rose into the sky through the deck. If you look at it from the distant sea, you will see a very horrifying scene. In the cabin of the sailboat, a violent explosion suddenly occurred in a certain room, and then the terrifying flames ignited the entire sailboat in just a few blinks of an eye. It's as if the whole sailboat is poured with gasoline, and the whole body will burn in the sun. And the culprit who set the whole sailing ship on fire was naturally Hancock, who used God's Judgment to attract attention. While Jin swung his knife to block the thunder pillar, and when Quinn and the others were attracted by the collision of the two moves, Hancock, with the help of an astonishingly large invisible electric field, teleported to ignore all obstacles, and appeared in the cabin of the sailboat, then find the ammunition depot in the cabin, detonate all the shells inside, and release amazing electric heat, burning the entire sailboat. The terrifying sea of flames submerged the pirates on the sailboat in an instant. The speed was so fast that even the fire expert Jin couldn't do anything. Fortunately, the pirates who came out with the team this time are all to deal with the Hydra warriors who have mastered hockey, even the two-color hockey, and many of them have also mastered the two-color hockey. After some people were engulfed by the flames, their whole bodies were burnt out. Others used hockey to block the flames, then rushed to the side of the boat and jumped into the sea. I was careless. I didn't expect Logia Thunderfruit's teleportation to be able to ignore all obstacles. Jin and Quinn also flew out of the flames. Enter the beast form, incarnate zone dragon fruit ancient species Jin in the form of Pteranodon, looking at the burning sailboat below, ignoring the crew members who jumped into the sea and calling for help, just regretting their slow reaction. Asshole. That woman actually plays sneak attack, it's really shameless. Quinn, who is 6.12 meters tall and extremely fat, yelled. If it weren't for Uncle Quinn, he would have known that at the end of this naval battle, it would definitely become an air battle, and the floating device was prepared in advance. God, I'm going to be caught in an instant. If this bastard, Jin, sees the scene of my uncle being killed for a moment, how will I see people in the future? You fat pig is really noisy. Right after Quinn's words fell to Setsuna, a cold but pleasant female voice suddenly came from behind him. A flash of lightning appeared out of thin air, turning into Hancock, who took off the black and white maid uniform and put back on the black cheongsam with the 9 snakes logo on it because the Empress and Captain led the soldiers on a trip. Lifting his long legs, which were infused with silver and gold, and special high-heeled shoes, Hancock instantly charged up the lightning kick and hit Quinn with one kick. In the next second, Quinn, whose body was like a hill, immediately turned into a huge afterimage, falling towards the sky below. But on the way of falling, Quinn's body disappeared. Phew. Before Hancock frowned slightly, the ear-piercing sound of piercing the air reached her ears. Jin saw that when Hancock kicked Quinn away, the sharp beak of the pteranodon suddenly lengthened and turned into a black spear, which contained armament hockey and amazing penetrating power, heading towards with Hancock lunging forward. At the same time, a golden laser appeared out of thin air above the sea below. The golden laser soared into the sky, almost following the stabbing black spear, and attacked Hancock at the same time. In this regard, Hancock just turned into a bolt of lightning and disappeared out of thin air, appearing somewhere in the electric field, and easily avoided the deadly attacks of Jin and the already invisible Quinn. Before entering the invisible state, Quinn attacked Hancock with the help of the floating device, and the scene that made his face change in shock appeared. Night Realm. I saw an extremely ghostly figure, quickly entered the battlefield, and very accurately found the position where Quinn was hiding, and then released an astonishing black mist, quickly forming a huge black ball, killing Quinn and the figure. Rapid in. The one who came was Sonia, who changed from beast form to human beast form. Just when the two sisters Hancock and Sonia in Qinghai faced two major disasters, Jin and Quinn. On the Bye-Bye Sea at an altitude of 10,000 meters, Khan also found Kaido. A battle of generals against generals, king against king, suddenly took place above and below a certain sea area in New World. Boom Khan did not rush to the top of the Bye-Bye Sea, let Kaido find him, and then exchanged a few words with Kaido before starting the battle. But before rushing out of the Bye-Bye Sea, Khan, whose whole body was covered with telekinetic power and separated from the sea, in the form of a complete dragon, clenched his fists to accumulate strength, and blasted a huge shock wave towards the huge breath he felt. This blow was obviously one of the main guns of glory of the Master Clan, the hero's gun. Since Kaido deliberately hid at an altitude of 10,000 meters, he planned to float down quietly when Hancock and Jin had a real fight, and then looked for Hancock's flaws to see if he could sneak attack or even kill him. Khan didn't have to fight him openly. Just like Hancock's sneak attack, burning the opponent's sailboat, making Jin and Quinn lose their land advantage, and they can only engage in air combat with their sisters. Khan blasted a huge shock wave, and when the shock wave rushed out of the sea, he immediately restrained Kaido with telekinesis, preventing him from flying away to avoid it, or using his ability to meet him. However, just like the battle against super powerful Fist, Omar 3 years ago, Khan's telekinetic power may be useful to Kaido, who is still in normal form, but against Kaido in the form of a perfect blue dragon, is defeated in less than a second. Broke free. But this less than a second of freezing time was enough for Khan's goal to be achieved. Kaido, who does not use the future prediction, the perception range of his observation haki is far inferior to that of Khan, Hancock, and Sonia. So he never thought that his abacus and his actions had already been seen by the people on Khan's side, with Paramesha's clairvoyance and insight into people's hearts. The opportunities he thought he would take were actually taken away by Khan. Therefore, when the body is restrained by telekinetic power, even Kaido, who has already squeezed into the ranks of superpowers, was caught off guard. Fortunately, he has entered the full body. Just like Khan, there will be a plus sign in the back in terms of physical fitness. Just releasing a little haki, Kaido broke free from the blue linglibo covering his body. But at this moment, a huge and incomparably transparent white beam also roared out from the pure white sea, submerging Kaido's nearly 200-meter-long half-body, and it was also the part of the dragon's head. Roar. Kaido, who was hit by the shock wave, immediately let out a scream, and spit out dragon blood from the dragon's mouth. As one of the 3 guns of glory for the giants to establish the world's most powerful country, the hero's spear is unleashed by the giants, and its power is even more amazing than the king's fist. With such a trick, even if the pirate emperor got it, he would still be hurt. In addition to such body art secrets, the giants also have weapon secrets, single body waiguo, and combo skills hikoku. Even a small island-level goldfish would be easily killed by them in seconds. But among the giant clan, more than one person has mastered these 3 guns of glory. From this we can see why Charlotte Linlin covets the power of the giant race so much, but dares not lead her Toto Land Kingdom to attack the Car human race. Because the giants who beat her didn't use the 3 guns of glory. And what she made a fuss about when she was a child was just a giant village, a tribe of giants. The strongest place of the giant race is the town in the center of the island. There is the strongest area of the giant clan, and the prince of the giant clan was also born there. When Charlotte Linlin really attacked the giant kingdom, she was greeted by a large group of giants with 3 guns of glory. Even if she has the physique of a natural destroyer and receives the shockwaves from 3 guns of glory head-on, the defense of the steel balloon will be as fragile as thin paper. Because the shockwave, just like the high-level armament hockey, can ignore the defenses on the outside and directly damage the inside of the body. If the physique is not strong enough, the shockwave can even open a huge hole in the target's body, or beat the target to pieces. The island-level goldfish in the original book was blown out of a huge hole by the country. Therefore, when Kaido, who ate the phantom beast in Qinglong form, had only been scarred by Kazuki Oden so far, was hit by the hero spear of Khan in the form of a dragon, he also suffered serious injuries. Because Kaido is just like Kazuki Oden's slash, there is no time to dodge, and it is too late to defend with haki. Of course, this injury is nothing to Kaido at all. As long as the injury doesn't get worse, with the recovery ability of the Phantom Beast, Kaido will recover soon. Roar. So after a hit, the Tianlong with a dazzling blue light all over his body rushed out of the Bye-Bye Sea, let out a deafening roar, and rushed towards Kaido. At this time, if someone appeared on the sea not far away, he would definitely see a fabulous picture, and would be so frightened that his feet would go limp and he would slump on the ground. I saw a Western dragon that only existed in mythology, about 150 meters in length, blue in color, with 2 wings and 4 legs, and a Western dragon that only existed in mythology, nearly 200 meters in length, but only 2 dragons. The Oriental dragon with only 1 claw is fighting in the most primitive way. Transformed into a full body, Khan flies with wings behind his back, but has anthropomorphic quadrupeds. The green dragon transformed by Kaido uses the flame cloud to fly and only has 2 claws. So Tianlong jumped up directly, hugged the long snake like Qinglong, grabbed Qinglong's claws with both hands, clamped Qinglong's body with his feet, and opened his mouth to bite Qinglong's body. Hey! Khan, you stinky brat, let go! Just like the original book was bitten by Momonosuke, Kaido's proud defensive power was as fragile as thin paper in front of Khan's sharp teeth. Kaido screamed and struggled frantically after being bitten. But his body was tightly hugged by Khan, and his only 2 paws were caught by Khan's hands, and he had nowhere to dodge other than returning to normal or human beast form. So, seeing that Khan didn't let go, but increased his strength, Kaido also opened his mouth and bit Khan. Boom. But just as Kaido opened his mouth to bite Khan, his head seemed to hit a wall. It turns out that Khan created a mind wall to prevent Kaido from biting him. When Kaido was about to use his ability to break through the power wall, Khan suddenly opened his mouth automatically. Then, his mouth, which was stained with dragon blood, gathered transparent white light waves. Seeing this scene, Kaido didn't care about relieving the pain, and quickly used the dragon tail longer than Khan to wrap around armament hockey, and threw a tail strike at Khan. Khan let go of Kaido resolutely, fanned his wings to distance Kaido, and continued to gather the breath of the dragon. Kaido also opened his mouth to gather heat. Soon, the 2 dragons belonged to the same dragon family, but because of the different fruit types, the Western dragon and the Eastern dragon, which had different shapes, used the same method to spit out a dragon's breath with different colors from their mouths. And it was a close-range dragon breath collision. Boom! 2 breaths, 1 white and 1 red, collided at close range. Then a white and red mixed energy ball immediately appeared above the Bye-Bye Sea. The shocking explosion sound, as the energy ball turned into a huge fireworks, resounded all over the Bye-Bye Sea at an altitude of 10,000 meters. When the terrifying flames dissipated, the 2 Western dragons and Eastern dragons, which were wrapped in the energy ball just now, reappeared above the Bye-Bye Sea. It's just that the 2 dragons at this time looked a little embarrassed. Especially for Kaido, who was bitten by Kon. Around the bleeding wound, there were more wounds, large or small, continuously overflowing with dragon blood. The Tianlong transformed by Kon is still unharmed, but there are some stains left by the flames on his body. It can be seen that Kon won the dragon's breath confrontation just now. There are two keys to Kon's victory. One is that Kon has more time to condense the dragon's breath than Kaido's hasty encounter. Second, after the energy ball exploded, Kaido was unable to cover his nearly 200-meter-long body with haki at an extremely fast speed, and his proud defensive power could only be immune to the power of fire in the power of wind and fire. But the power of wind, which is stronger than his bad wind, forcefully hit Kaido's body through continuous damage, tearing out some wounds. In contrast, Kon is different. Facing the power of wind and fire, he only needs to cover a layer of thought force wave to block most of the energy. When the remaining energy could not break through the body of the natural destroyer Wang Tianlong through continuous damage, Kon just released the Nianlibo, allowing the power of wind and fire to wash his body, but he could not break through the body of the natural destroyer Wang Tianlong. Defense. Boom. 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 After the collision of the dragon's breath ended, Kon pounced on Kaido again, clamped Kaido's dragon body with his feet again, and then wrapped his fists around the flowing haki, hitting Kaido's head and body continuously. Roar. Bad wind. Kaido was beaten again and screamed, and then quickly spit out a large number of wind blades towards Kon. It's a pity that just like hitting his head against a wall, all the wind blades that Kaido spit out were ejected by Kon's psychic shield. Since the body was clamped by Kon, Kaido couldn't support the 150-meter-long Tianlong, which was slightly lighter than him, to rotate. Kaido could only swing the dragon's tail again, entangled with the high-level armament haki, trying to defeat the psychic shield, and whipped Kon's body. However, Kon, who has the ability to read people's hearts, completely sees Kaido's thoughts in it. Just as he was entwining the high-level armament haki around his tail, Kon released Kaido's body as before, flapped his wings, and used telekinesis to eliminate the air barrier. In an instant, he opened a distance from Kaido and successfully escaped Kaido's tail pressure. When the distance was drawn, Kon opened his dragon mouth again, condensing transparent white light waves, and released the breath of the dragon again to Kaido. Due to the size of the body, there is a pure white sea below. Kaido can only gather red light waves as before, and use heat to attack. Boom. The familiar energy ball once again wrapped the two eastern dragons and western dragons, which were nearly 400 meters long, and then exploded with a shocking explosion, turning into huge flames and bursting out. Boom. 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 This time, before the flames dissipated, there was a sound of punching to the flesh. Hey. You nasty brat, are you finished? Kaido flew out of the flames with Kon, constantly creating flame clouds, and his huge body kept rolling in the air, trying to throw Kon down hard. It's a pity that Kon's feet are clamped too tightly, and his whole body is covered with Nianlibo. No matter whether Kaido breathes out fire or wind, or rushes into the bye-bye sea with Kon, it won't hurt Kon at all. Rich. Incarnated as a perfect Kaido, his abilities are very diverse, and he can use the three abilities of wind, fire and thunder. Strength and defense are also the forms with the largest increase among the three forms. But Kaido in full body form is not the most universal form. The fire dragon form is not the strongest form either. Kaido's strongest form is the human beast form. Although Kaido in this form is not as defensive and powerful as the full body, it is the most balanced form. A full body Kaido simply cannot wrap haki around his body quickly. To be precise, when he was in full body, he couldn't quickly use his whole body to arm himself. Once encountering a large-scale attack, and that large-scale attack can just break through the defense, Kaido will definitely be injured. On the other hand, Kaido in human beast form, although his height is still more than 7 meters, but his speed is not as heavy as 7 meters, but inconceivably fast. And in human beast form, Kaido can still use weapons, and haki's consumption is much smaller than that of a full body. It is no exaggeration to say that Kaido's full body is actually the weakest when facing strong players of the same level. In fact, Kon's perfect body is also the weakest time. Once someone is faster than him and can ignore Kon's telekinetic restraint, then Kon can only defend and be beaten. Of course, Kon can also destroy the ground under his feet and push the enemy back. Or use Cataclysm to destroy entire islands and overwhelm your enemies with large-scale occult powers. They are also perfect bodies, and they are also the weakest form. Kon is able to take advantage now because he has telekinesis. Khan's Demon superpowers are not as diverse as Kaido's, and they have no effect on superpowers like Kaido, but they are very versatile. In particular, using telekinetic power to eliminate the air barrier and wrap the whole body to separate the seawater from all attacks is the reason why Khan is pressing Kaido to fight now. Read people's minds to predict Kaido's next thought, and then eliminate the air barrier to distance, use the dragon's breath to force Kaido to fight, and then fight close to hand, and continue to pull. Kaido, who can fly with the flame cloud only by transforming into a perfect body, cannot transform into a human beast form or a normal state at all. Otherwise he will lose the advantage of air combat and his situation will be even worse. That's why Khan didn't block Kaido outside the Ghost Island, but waited for him in this sea area. If Kaido finds a place to stand and turns into a human beast form, then Khan will be at a disadvantage. Foretelling the future, advanced armament Haki, Conqueror's entanglement, and top-level speed and defense. This is how many human and animal forms. Hey! The fire dragon refuses. Kaido, who was constantly pulled and beaten by Khan, flicked his tail again to force Khan back, but this time he did not use his breath to block Khan's dragon's breath, but created a nearly 200-meter-long fire dragon with his heat to wrap himself. The body of the green dragon turned into a fire dragon form. Shanglong Flame 8 trigrams. After entering the fire dragon form, Kaido directly stepped on the flame cloud. His body carried the flame and high temperature that melted everything, and wrapped around his head the Conqueror's Haki of a different dimension level, directly crushing Khan's dragon's breath, and left him invincible. The ground continued to slam into Khan. Kaido, who was beaten extremely aggrieved, unexpectedly resorted to the strongest method of the whole body.